Hello, 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 hello. So we're going to do a reading stream today. Intuitive readings. It goes better when I have people come in. Oh, I forgot it was April Fool's Day. It's not a joke, is it? It's, it's definitely not a joke. I'm legitimately doing this. Um, I didn't feel like turning half of my light on my own. It's kind of got spooky vibes. No, some people find intuitive readings a little spooky, right? On the spooky side. And then let's see. So I'm hoping I get some people in, but I suppose for now I'll start by doing a reading for myself. Because why not? Tarots. Maybe I'll do a tarot day. She pulled a Eight of Pentacles from me, and her it's interesting because her deck has a different meaning. Like each unique deck has different meanings. Overall, the tarot has the same meaning on the card for most consistent decks, but every now and then the creator puts a little mix in there, and one of the ones she read from had a mix. So I think I call myself a tarot. I wanted to play anime. I almost requested anime tarot from Brent earlier. So I'm gonna play it for myself. I'll start this. Let's see what I get. I think I I don't know how long I'll do the stream for because I feel very nauseous right now. I also feel very tired. So we'll see how long I do this for. But nothing hurts starting, right? So let's see. Let's see what we have here. Tarot is tarot I've been learning slowly, so hopefully that adapts more over time. But you'll probably see me read from the book. Spin my deck first. Eventually, I'll have a setup where you can see what I play for the decks on the desk. But Tebe is not one of those decks. And then spin the shit out. Next up. Okay, I'm gonna play some cards on myself now. I was gonna say I'm 3 cards, but I'm thinking of 4, so I feel like I'm being told I should play. Ooh, hello. I feel like I'm being told I should play 4. So I should go this way. I'm gonna play all 4 first, and then I'll show you what they each are right afterwards. That one actually looks like that should be good. That was interesting. That one went flying. And it landed first, so it must mean it's supposed to go there. 3rd card. Oh, oh. This. Um, what's this? Just gonna say, hello, Moose Snickle Pum Pum. I almost said pumpkin. Welcome in. How are you? Can you hear me okay? So oh good, I'm so glad. Stopping by because you're interested in a reading? Okay, perfect. Just making sure, it's hard to tell sometimes. Okay, great. I played some cards on myself real quick, but I'll put them aside for now. Do you have a preference of a deck, or do you want me to just choose based on what I feel? So I'm gonna put those on the side. Just put those away real quick. Let me grab them for you. I'll show you what I grab in just a moment. I'm gonna do a couple for you because it feels like I should do a couple decks for you. All right. Okay, so I picked 3 decks for you. They're all Oracle cards. I hope that's all right. So we have Affirmators by somebody. I can't find the name. It says knock knock stuff on the back, so I guess that's where you can find it. We have the Shaman's Dream Oracle. And we have my power deck, Buddha Wisdom. This deck of mine, I specifically read the messages as like the last power messages, kind of like if you have a quote at the end of your reading, just to like reiterate what you need to hear in that moment. That's what I usually use this for. And and spirit, I refer to spirit. You refer to whoever it is you believe in. That's fine. We can all coexist. Um, oh, you love oracles? Do you play oracles on yourself? So I felt the need to do the affirmators one first. And before I play any of the cards, oh, okay, great. I love vibing with that. What was I saying? I'm sorry, I'm a little ditzy today because I'm tired. So I'll do my best to stay focused with what I'm talking about. So before I play the cards from this deck intuitively, um, like I said, I refer to spirit. Spirit tells me you're like seeking advice. There's something you need advice on, is what I feel first before I even play any of the cards. So these cards that I will play and read to you are advice for you to acknowledge in whatever it is you're seeking an answer to. To start with. To start with. Also, please feel free to let me know if anything resonates with you. If it doesn't, that's okay. It might come later on, or you might not think of it at the time, or it just doesn't. It's okay either way. But feel free to let me know because I enjoy hearing feedback. Okay, so let's start with those. These are the affirmator cards that I just showed you from the case. So we started with 2. First one, I'm sorry, I don't have good camera, but I'll read it to you, I promise. It says vitality. It's a picture of a bunch of little fighting, we'll call them white blood cells. Fighting white blood cells. I'm healthy and vital and strong. My radiant love of life fills me with healthy, vital, and strong cells. Each cell is a warrior. Everyone has its own sword and shield. I dare you to try and penetrate my cellular army. Didn't think so, chump. So, vitality is the first word, and then there's pictures of little cells, little army of cells. And there was actually two cards that fell out at the same time. So before I continue the interpretation of it, I'm going to read the next one for you. Story of my life is what this says. I'm trying to see if I can get it. Oh, okay, that's it. Okay. Story of my life. As I tell myself the story of what's happening in my life, I choose to make it the kind of story where even though parts have a sort of inner beauty, it's ultimately a happy story where every character, no matter how wicked, is doing their best. And let me tell you, it'll be worth it when I earn the Pulitzer Prize for Best Inner Monologue. So, I don't know if this will resonate with you, but it makes me think of someone who has I'm hearing the word like autoimmune disease of some sort, or like some kind of like inner battle when it comes to health. Like you try to stay healthy, but like you also feel like getting healthy is fighting you in return, and you feel like there's no release or relief from it. You just feel like it's a constant battle back and forth. And it makes me feel like you're very tired and fatigued of dealing with it, but you feel like you're constantly fighting, and that's making you tired. Oh wow. Okay. So that's the first part of it that I feel. I am gonna play a couple more from the deck first before moving on to the next ones. So health wise, it feels like you're feeling very tired because you feel like you're trying so hard to like keep up with your health, but it's like it's like putting you down because you just feel like you constantly have to be resilient, and sometimes you just want to like be yourself is how I currently feel in this moment intuitively. um in terms of what I'm seeing, it feels it in the mind's eye, it looks like you're actually doing a really good job. It's tiring, but i'm being I'm being told too many things at once, but one of them that's important is like, I don't know if you follow a strict routine or a strict diet with the Crohn's, but they're saying like part of that is like it's the routine itself right now is inconsistent, but when you get more consistent with it, it won't feel as all over the place as it was. So it'll feel like you're more in control, which will be less in terms of stress on you in that moment. Um, I feel like you probably also go through that was the main part of the first vitality card here. For the next one of the story of my life, I feel like you go through bits and pieces of your life where you feel like kind of melancholic, like you desire for so much more, but you also don't put yourself in a position where you gain opportunity that way. Like you don't go out of your way, so you miss opportunities, but you also desire for new things. um the in this card, there's like a little mouse here. I see a little friend. It's someone who you hold very close to your heart. I feel like this can be anywhere from a person you cherish to like an animal or some even a very specific memory that you cherish. That's like your rock that holds you in place, and it makes you happy. Like that's your like safe space. Um I'm also drawn to the baseball hat on the snake. I don't know the significance to it, but I feel like the baseball hat has some significance to you in some way, or whatever you think of when you hear it is what it is. There's like small subtle hints that I don't know if this is accurate, but there's like small subtle hints. It's very minor that either you might like someone or maybe there's someone of interest to either you or you to someone else. But it's subtle. It's not dramatic. If it's you to someone else, I feel like you're holding yourself back because of fear. I think you're afraid of not only rejection, but you're also afraid of the truth in terms of you opening up to the person and them not understanding you. Okay, I'm going to play a couple more cards from this. Oh, okay. I have friends who have social anxiety too, so I understand how it goes. I don't personally have social anxiety, but I do have close friends who are. I do know one thing I see for my own friends when they go out in social places, it's worse when it's a large gathering of groups, and it's also worse when it's only one person. So maybe just to like help build that confidence up a little bit, start with like tiny groups, whether it's online games or well, family reunions are kind of large, but like just small groups, I think could really benefit you. Okay, so I'm gonna play two more cards from here for you. Stubborn. We have personal growth. As I move forward, oh, sorry, I misread that. As I move toward greater consciousness, I feel old thoughts and habits fall away. Like training wheels on a bike, they help me get to where I am, but now I can ride. I don't need those slow and crummy wheels except when I'm making bike analogies. So that's this one. And I only planned on playing two, but Spirit has two more for me to read to you. So we have personal growth. We have courage. That kind of relates to what I was just talking about. No one is fearless. No one. But even though I'm not fearless, I am courageous. When fear shows up, I don't run away from it. I use courage to conquer it. My courage allows me to walk up right to that fear and kick it in the nuts, then quickly hide behind someone bigger until it goes away. That's cute, silly. So even if you're afraid, it's okay to be afraid. Just have the courage to just slowly adapt. You don't have to make major change, but small changes will go a long way. And then we have generosity for the next card. I give generously to those around me, no matter how much or how little I have. I know there's more than enough to go around, and that is the key to allow it to keep going around without stopping. If I stop the flow, I'm like the one person at the stadium who doesn't do the wave. So the vibe I get off of that card feels like you're actually already a very generous and kind person. They're also telling me you also feel like you're often walked on because of the kindness you give. Like you're always nice to everyone, but when it comes to being returned to you, it's not reciprocated and it puts you down. Um, but I see that you're actually a very giving and caring person already. Like you're always considerate of other people. And I have these strong feelings of I just want something small back is how I feel intuitively. It feels like you just, even if it's small, you just want like a kind gesture returned to you in some way. And it's like something that'll pick you up a lot and it'll change your vibration because you'll feel a deep sense of gratitude and you'll feel very grateful. Okay. Top of the card energy says good things to come. There are so many amazing gifts coming my way. I can't see them now because I respect the general convention of not peeking under wrapping paper, but they will show up the time when the time is right, and that's when I'll remember how much fun it is to be surprised. So gifts and blessings come your way when the time is right. I don't know if this means anything, but I'm seeing a person going to a mailbox receiving a message. I don't know if you're waiting for a message to arrive from anything specific, but it is to arrive in your near future if there is. I'm just checking in. Are you still with me? Okay, great. Perfect. So I'm going to move on to your next deck now, which is the Shaman Oracle that I showed you before. And we're going to play that for you right now. Might include one more deck at the end of your reading because I'm starting to feel drawn to it. So it tells me that Spirit has like main messages for you. With all readings, they're based on interpretation. So like I interpret what I feel intuitively, but specifics are usually the person who gets read. Like what they think of is usually related to what I interpret. So like um yeah, so all readings, of course, are for entertainment purposes only. There are no excuses and not an alternative to receive actual help. But as I was saying before, I'm starting to feel drawn to another deck. So I'm gonna finish doing this deck for some cards to play before I go on to my power deck that I showed you before and play a different deck before that. Routine. I can ask for clarity on it. Let's see if something comes up. So, like with the interpretation before, it was like it felt like you have to have a routine, but it's highly inconsistent right now, is what it feels like. So, like, it feels like you're following the rules and what you need to do, but it's like it's chaotic. It's like all throughout the day, or like it's never consistent. And I feel like you'd benefit with whatever you need to do routinely within specific time frames. Yeah, yeah. So based on what I already have, but I can try to see if there's more messages for you. Let me play this deck for you because this is next. So first card that comes up is called Detox. Picture of a mermaid in a bubble bath. And it says repairing the body, mind, and spirit. And I'm actually drawn to the bubble, and it has like it has like a weird little baby thing creature in it, but looking at it makes me think that maybe you're a creative type, and it makes me think of painting or like having fun with painting, like throwing paint balloons at a canvas or finger painting or something creative in that way. I also feel like the cards being very literal. Take a bubble bath. It's relaxing. Detox is usually like detoxing, things that make you like feel good within your body. Oh, hey, thank you for confirming that. Yeah, so it wants you to do that more because it grounds you. It keeps you grounded and you feel that's actually when you get it's meditative for you. And that's actually where you get the most clarity is when you're doing that. Especially with like things you might like if you have any specific questions that you're struggling with, or if there's like something you can't figure out, they want you to like give up trying to figure out and do some painting, figure painting, and it's gonna like come to you easily. I also see like in the card, it's like smoke or fog, but to me, it looks like a little dragon, and for some reason, it makes me think of tattoos, some kind of dragon tattoo, whether it's being considered or that's a paint challenge or a spirit animal or animal totem. I see the dragon in this little swirl here. I'm thinking of the word water dragon. And I also see little glowing lights, which makes me think of like fireflies. Yeah, maybe. Dragons, I believe, are symboled for protection. They're also like they're very protective of their treasure, their blessings, and the things they hold dear to them. Now I'm thinking of like trinkets and little treasures that you cherish to you. Like these are things that you hold close to you. I'm thinking of like little trinkets, like a little jewelry box or a little music box or dragonfly couldn't stop staring. Oh, that's so cute. Maybe that's why I'm drawn to the next deck. Okay, we're gonna keep that in mind for now. Dragon, like animals, can be a message from past on loved ones. And I told you earlier, I'm starting to feel drawn to one of my decks, and I have a deck called Talking to Heaven, which is a medium deck. And I specifically only play it when there's passed on loved ones trying to send messages to the person who is in the reading. And I'm drawn to it now, so I'll be taking that after I play these cards for you. Wait, but for now, Spirit wants you to like detox. They want you to have a me day. Like they want you to spoil yourself for that first card. Moving on to the next card. Where's my nose? Okay, so moving on to the next one. We have Stranger and Curiosity. This one, this one makes me think, it makes me think of like mixing up concoctions, like science experiments. It's like I feel like you're a very hands-on person. You have fun doing new and unique things. I'm being told maybe you should try some different classes you haven't tried before that uses your hands and creates new things. Like pottery, for example, might be a good time to try. And good morning. So oh, and I also see glass blowing. So I don't know if you have like creative projects you've been wanting to try and just haven't done it yet, but it's a good idea maybe to start. I'm also being told you should look into your reflection. I feel like you're a person who doesn't like to look into your reflection that often because you put yourself down when you look at yourself. Instead of doing that, start looking at your reflection and say affirmations to yourself. If you don't know what an affirmation is, it's like little sayings that boost your vibe. So like, I'm doing great today because I'm awake, I'm healthy, and I'm alive, like stuff like that. Or, for some people who are more on the confident side, they'll be like, "Good morning, beautiful," in the mirror. And I feel like looking at your reflection should be a more positive thing. I also feel like you struggle with maybe body dysmorphia or you're like too harsh on your body, like with judgment, mental judgment. Um in my mind's eye, I can hear, but Exercise is hard, is what I hear, which is cute. Um, it's okay. Like there, exercise is hard for some people. Find ones that you like to do. So like for I'm they're showing me yoga. I personally love yoga. They're also showing me you might not be the most flexible either, but you don't have to force yourself to go in the full position. Just go enough to get the stretch. It'll make you feel really good. Like start small. One big message in your reading so far is to start with little steps, making it into bigger steps. Like create goals, and then from those goals make miniature goals that are reachable and attainable to you. All right, I'm gonna play. I feel like I should do three of these, so I played two so far. So I'm gonna play the last one for you. Lost compass, getting back into integrity. So first words I'm hearing is that I'm setting a new direction. I'm heading towards a new direction. This definitely feels like you've like I feel like you're feeling more pumped now. Even if it's subtle, you're like, I'm ready to start something new. Um, Heading in a new direction will feel very satisfying to your soul. Whatever it may be. It could be those new classes such as pottery, glass blowing, excuse me, whatever it may be. A little bit makes me think of fun with sprinklers, just having some fun. They want you to like detox. They want you to have some fun. They want to encourage you to try things out of your comfort zone and so on. The compass in the image for some reason makes me think of time. They're saying give yourself time. Like I feel like you're someone who has a hard time not being harsh on yourself. So like you're very critical when it comes to things with yourself, but you're not even that critical when it comes to anyone else. So why are you being so critical to yourself? So like have some compassion for yourself too. And that helps you go on the journey like more like I feel like you're pretty good with a majority of self-love because you know what you do like about yourself, but like you also have like your shadow side, which is very critical about specific things relating to yourself. So I see like the wheel of time. Yeah, and it causes me to get burnt out so fast. Oh, I understand. I actually do it too, but I've been working very hard trying to get out of the mindset, which is the hardest part. So which is probably why I saw the reflection in one of the cards. I oh, they're telling me to reference something I've made now. I don't know if you've made one of these before, but there's because it's creative and you're creative, they're suggesting for you to also make a vision board. I don't know if you know what a vision board is, but it's kind of like a collage of the desires you want to have in life. You can choose to do short term or long term. Okay, this is related to the wheel of time that I'm talking about. So, a vision board is like I personally like to print pictures because if I draw them all, it'll take me forever. But you could do it in the painting that you like to do, which actually might be inspirational for you. And you might feel very excited at the end piece once it's all done. So basically, you figure out your desires. It can be as large or small as you want. Um, so like for me, some things on my vision board that I have scheduled for this year, like I'm happily taken, right? So I would never force this on my partner, but on my vision board, I have that I want to manifest getting engaged because I want to get married and have children. I also have yoga every day. Once a month, I smudge myself a stage. I have like drink more water because I'm bad at that. And what else do I got on there? I got like pay off some debts I know I can reach, because apparently I'm bad at that too. But but I put them all on my vision board because they're things I want to get done, and my vision board's meant for me. My desires, what I want, and I know it's goals I can attain. So they're suggesting that you should make one of those too, and you can have fun with it. I personally print pictures and then I paste it like a collage because that's fun for me, and I can decorate it like a scrapbook. But they said you can do whatever you'd like. Like you can paint all your desires. If you have symbols that mean something specific to you, you'll know what those symbols mean, and something you just look at every day that makes you feel good. Okay, so I played those three cards. I'm going to play the deck I felt drawn to for the next portion of your reading. Pinch my finger. I've been meaning to make one, but I've been stalling. Oh, okay, so it's already been like kind of on the back burner. Burner? Back burner for you. So now's the time for you to like bring it out. Um, it's funny because your reading is like it's a mix of things, and you asked about routine earlier, but Spirit also wants you to relax. It's like two contradicting things. So I feel like that's probably you. You feel like you want to do this, but you have to do this, but you want to relax, but you also want to stick to a schedule. So it feels like you're having a hard time balancing that. So you're even your reading, like it's telling you to do both. So like they want you to like manage both. So things that you know have to be a routine, start with that first. Figure out what you can do routinely per day, right? And then make sure in the routine that you actually plan for time for you. So it's like me time, no other distractions. You do whatever you want during that time. So like schedule it like the rest of your routine. And it might feel a little weird to start because typically when people relax, they don't want to have to like schedule being relaxed because it's like it becomes like a job. But when you're someone who constantly overworks themselves, this is like how you get me time because you're already like doing too many things. Like you're doing too much in your list already. You have to force it in there. And the more you force it in there, the more it like becomes habits, right? So I definitely suggest starting there. I'm going to play the next deck of cards for you now. It's not going to be one of the ones I showed you yet. I'm going to show you in just a second. It's my Talking to Heaven deck. And in this deck, sorry, I feel like I've spoken a lot, so I need to breathe for a second. This deck is called Talking to Heaven. I feel very drawn to it now. There was something I said to hold on to earlier. Let me see if I can refresh my memory with your message at least. Oh, the dragonfly. Yes, the dragonfly. I feel like like specifically dragon is very significant in some way. Maybe maybe this person was born in the year of the Chinese zodiac, the dragon, or maybe they behave like a dragon. The word dragon is significant. So let's get the deck. Hold on just a moment. So this is the deck I was talking about. It's called Talking to Heaven by James Van Praagh. I I personally really love this deck. I use it frequently. But I will only pull it out when I know or I'm being told to take it when it comes to other people's readings. I feel like the energy for the person who's a passed on loved one for you who wants to communicate, it feels like it's a guy. It feels like male energy, and it feels like he was probably someone who's fit. I'm not gonna say buff, but he definitely wasn't like under he was pretty healthy looking. I'm getting the image of like shorts that were always by the knee. And he feels like he was kind of cocky. Feels like he was like not a lot. It was like tastefully. So he liked to have a sense of humor and a sense of confidence with himself. I don't know if that's anyone you resonate with, but that is who's coming through at this time. All right. So let's play these messages. Oh, no worries. Sometimes even if it's, I'm hearing the word friend. I don't know if you have any friends who've passed away or a friend of somebody else. Um, Sometimes people don't know right away, it comes later, or sometimes when it comes to the energy of a passed on loved one, sometimes it's like, oh, okay. So sometimes when it comes to people who've passed away, like if they gave that energy in real life, then when they pass away, it's that energy. So for like example, I have a friend who is female, but she acts way more like a dude, right? So um if she passed away, it'd probably be more like guy energy than it would be female energy. So keep that in mind too. Okay. Oh yeah, I did. Okay, so you had a friend that passed away. I'm assuming this message is coming from that person because I heard the word friend specifically. I'm gonna grab a drink real quick. Wherever I put it, there it is. That's really sticking out. Oh, I I haven't shown this to you yet. I just want to tell you what I feel first before I show it to you. It feels like your heart's gonna feel very heavy when you hear the message. Um, like it'll make you sad, but it also feels like it's preparing you for the rest of the messages from the reading of these cards. I read them pretty close to what the card says directly. It says, I had to leave that way. I had to leave that way. It makes me think of someone who also had trouble with like health issues. Makes me think of someone else who also had some trouble with health issues, whether it be physical or mental. I see the person climbing a ladder, so it also felt like it was someone in a similar situation where they've also felt like they were always fighting, like constantly fighting when it came to their health. And the message of I had to leave that way feels like this was like their way of finally feeling free, is how it feels with this first card. Oops, ooh, that one flew right on the floor. Sorry, one moment. Okay, so this one says there's no such thing as death. And the messages hearing right now is they want you to know that like there's times where you miss your friend. There's times where you miss your friend and when you're talking to them, they do hear you. They try their best to help you when they can in their own way. I'm being told it's like such as messages on the TV. That's a very specific message. So like there's sometimes you'll hear the same thing happen on the TV and it's never when you're looking for it. It's always when you're not looking for it that you notice it the most. That might not make sense right now, but maybe over time it will. It's called a synchronicity. It's when it's like how people see repetitive numbers all the time, but it's more specific to a message. So like you'll hear one phrase over and over and over again, but like you're not paying it, like you're not actively paying attention to like the phrase, like you're not looking for it, but you keep hearing the same phrase over and over and over again. So like that's how the messages from your friend will be coming through to you when you're like talking to them and you need advice and so on. Oh yeah. Yeah, so with angel numbers, like a lot of people look up the angels numbers, myself included, like online and stuff for different meanings and what would resonate within that moment. But angel numbers also mean like if you're thinking of a very specific thing during that time. So like um I don't know, let's say something silly, right? You're talking to your friend who's passed away and you're like, I don't know what I want for dinner. Maybe I should have steak. And then you're like, well, it'd be better to have chicken. And then you look over and suddenly it's like 111. There, and that meant like it was like a confirmation of the second thought because you saw it when you thought it, that type of thing. That's another way it works. Or it can mean specific things in terms of numerology, like 111 is like a strong meaning in numerology of new beginnings. So it could be either way. I personally, if I'm thinking of a very specific thing and then I see an angel number synchronicity, I know it's for what I was thinking of. It was like confirmation for me, but everybody's different. So whatever the sign is for you is how it works. Okay, next card. Next card. If I had only known then what I know now, I would have lived differently. I'm getting the feelings that this person's life was kind of short. It was shorter than it should have been. I also see the world specifically in this picture, like something they wanted to do was travel around the world or travel to new countries. I'm getting specific messages about like poor countries, like people who were worse off than others. They wanted to like be someone who helped like rise them up and make them more confident. They wanted to be that person who helped others who were less off than most. Like, I'm from the United States, so like there's many people who, yeah, he did have a short life. Okay, yeah, he gives off energy that he wanted to be someone who wanted to like help others, whether it was like a fundraiser or that person who went there, like if someone was hungry, like the homeless, he wanted to be that person who would help feed the homeless. He wanted to be that person to help like with education for kids who couldn't for kids who couldn't get it and so on. He wanted to be that person who made a difference in the world is what I'm hearing. I want to make a difference in the world. I send you loving signs through nature. So that confirms, this is a confirmation that that dragonfly that you said you were staring at, that was a message from this person. I said dragon was very specific in correlation earlier. And this card saying I send loving signs through nature is a confirmation sign. And now that the word dragon and the dragonfly has been brought up, that might be more of a symbolism for you that you'll see more often when they're visiting. Whether it's real dragons, like images of it, paintings, drawings, statues, dragonflies, the word dragon, or movies involving them. Any of those, I think, will come up more often because it's now a more like significant sign. All right, any other messages that you would like to bring this way? Any others? This one. Okay, the deck as I was shoveling. I don't know why I said shoveling. Maybe that's something that needs to be done where you live or something. But I was supposed to say shuffling. So when I was shuffling the deck, it felt like it almost didn't want me to play a card. And then it finally decided on one. So this is the last card message from your friend. It says, "We are so connected." I'm being told you'll feel him around you the more you get used to it. You'll start knowing when he's visiting because you'll start feeling his energy with you. Um, I feel like you have a tiny, it's very tiny, it's very, very small. You have a tiny part of you that still gets a little bit afraid knowing people are around you, but you don't have to be afraid if you don't want them to. Just be like, I want to be alone, or you can like imagine like a light switch and turn it off. Oh, turn it off. Um, when you don't want like you don't want your past and loved ones bugging you and stuff, you can do that anytime you want. But so like it's not very large, it's very small for you. So like they're showing me like sudden things, like something falling off a countertop all of a sudden. I'm being told you should know that's not them, that just something just happened, like you bumped the table or something. It's not like that kind of coincidence. It feels more like when you get more used to his energy being near you, when you want to talk to him, you're going to feel it in a specific way. Like it might feel like a very warm, like summer vibe energy, or like you're going to feel it. I'm being told specifically you're going to feel it. It's not going to be like sudden things that'll scare you. It's going to be subtle energy. Yeah. So that was a good message from your friend who passed away. He's saying one more thing. He's saying, I'm so glad to have you be called my friend. I'm so glad to call you my friend, is the last message I hear from that. Okay, and now I'm going to play the power deck fight. Like I said in the beginning, with this particular deck, I read them literally with the card itself more so than the interpretation. If I do have an interpretation come up, I will say it like I have been. But otherwise, these are more like the final messages of your reading and all you need to hear at this time. A devotee offering his gift of song. The message is, your skills are the gifts you can share with others. Um, Only specific message I have from that is your creative side is meant to be displayed. So your creations, I don't know if you post them online or on social media or if you put them in any like expos or anything, but I'm being told your creations are meant to be displayed. Let's see, Princess Mandarava. Sometimes love changes the course of a life. So this makes me think, I mentioned self-love earlier, and I feel like you have like self-love, but you need more compassion with yourself. And I feel like the direction you want to take, like you're in a new direction, you know where you want to head, and it makes you feel good. Like it's a very positive vibe. It's making you feel good going in this new direction. Oh, poem. Made some poems and felt drawn to posting them. Oh, great. That's so good. I suggest you do so. I personally like poetry too, and I love reading them, especially because poems usually have deep meaning and feeling behind it. I say go for it. First time chatters, sacrificial sexo. Hello, welcome in. Almost, I'm finishing up one right now. Give me just a moment and we can do you next if you'd like, if the other person is gone. Okay, and I'm gonna do one last card for you, Moose Knuckle Pum Pum. I feel like I should call you Pumpkin. Like, that keeps coming up. I don't know if pumpkin means something significant to you, or maybe you need the vitamins from pumpkin in your diet. I'm not sure which, but that keeps coming up for me with your username. All right, last card for you in your reading. Oh, did I show you your cards for these? I don't know if I showed you. So this was the first one that says your skills are the gifts you can share with others. Let's see if I can. This one says sometimes love changes the course of life. And your last one says be courageous. Anything life gives can be an inspiration. Be courageous. So that's part of, like I said, to step out of your comfort zone a little bit. It doesn't have to be a major change, but a small one will make a huge difference. So be courageous. Anything life gives you can be an inspiration. I hope that resonated with you. I hope it felt good. I was hoping to post this on YouTube as well, so let me know if you are okay with that or not. If you're not, I'll cut your reading out. Thank you. Okay, great. Thank you so much. Okay, perfect. Yeah, I personally love rewatching readings too. They're always one thing I've learned because I also, I'm intuitive, but it's much easier for me to do readings for people I don't know, which is always recommended if you ever go see a psychic. Um, find someone you don't know because the reading is usually better that way. Um, and the reason why is because if they know you too well, they can know too much about you, which creates bias, and the bias makes it more opinionated than it is as an intuitive reading. And then, oh, what else did I want to say? I wanted to say, um, oh, right. One thing I learned with readings is that, sometimes like it gives you so much, but sometimes it always feels like it's just like not enough. But the reading you hear at that time is what you needed to hear in that moment. Yeah, thank you for letting me give your a reading and giving me permission to post it. I appreciate it. I also appreciate the resonation that you mentioned and confirmation for it. Thank you for stopping in and being my first reading today. Okay. Sacrificios XO, were you still in this stream? And the one before that, where are you? I'm fixing 9. Are you also still in the stream? Sacrificios XO, yes. Okay, great. Perfect. I only see a reply from you, so it looks like you're next. Hello, welcome in. I just finished off the reading from before with all my readings. So what reads do you do? Do you mean like, do I have a specific niche? Is that what you mean? And what do you need to grab such full energies you need? So be most of the time usernames are pretty unique to you. I just did the reading for Moose Knuckle Pum Pum with no issues. I didn't ask for anything specific. I just asked to let me know if anything resonates with them because well, to put frankly, sometimes with my readings, I don't feel that I'm getting the messages out there confidently. So I like the reassurance or knowing whether it does or does not resonate. Sometimes the messages don't resonate immediately. Sometimes it's from before or something that'll happen later. And sometimes it just doesn't feel connected, and that's okay if that happens. That just means maybe we aren't on the same vibe. That's all right. All readings I do are intuitive usually. I like doing a mix of Oracle and Tarot. I'm better with the Oracle because I like to do more interpretations of it. Tarot I will do, and I'll do my own interpretation of the tarot, but they also have very specific meanings, and I go to the book to read those. Sometimes I can do just intuitive feelings too, but one thing with Oracle and Tarot is that they're a tool. They just make it easier to do. And then in terms of, I feel like I pull energies pretty well. Any kind of reading I give is what you need to hear at that time. I refer to spirit, but it can be whoever you refer to, God, creator, universe. We can all coexist. And then let's see, what else? Any reading that is given is no excuse and no alternative to legitimate professional help. It's for entertainment purposes only. I know some readers/medium psychics will do specific topics. Yeah, some do. I'm kind of more, so like some people like do like love readings. That's not really my vibe. I kind of do like a free for all. If someone has a specific question, I can try my best to answer it. People who get read must have an open mind because I do the interpretation. But one thing when it comes to psychics is that the interpretation works both ways. So like I do the interpretation of the reading that you need to hear, but specifics are usually from the reader, the one being read. So like if I said like a tall man with dark hair and you think of that person, the specific is you, like you thinking of that person, but the interpretation is me saying the tall person with dark hair. Um, and then uh yeah. I kind of do free for alls. I do like messages that just come up that you need to hear. Some people like to ask specific questions, and that's okay. If you have a specific one, I can do my best to try to answer it. I can't promise future predictions. First, I'm bad at it, and two, um, the future is constantly changing based on the choices you make today. So like, for example, if I told someone not to drive down a specific street tomorrow because something weird will happen, if they choose not to drive down that street, then nothing weird's going to happen, for example. So, like, based on our choices today, the future's always changing, but if no change is made, then the prediction would be more accurate, for example. And then, oh, let's see. Is there anything else I'm missing? Oh, and in terms of things that I'm better at is usually communicating and passed on loved ones. I'm more in that side of the niche, but it doesn't mean that's very specific. Like that's what I do. It's just what I'm better at. So like I usually do general readings most of the time. Is there anything specific you're looking for? No, that was a mouthful. Sorry. That's perfect. Okay, for general readings. So I have a large select, well, I say large selection of decks to choose from, but I know there's people who have way more than I do. Would you prefer to pick a deck based on your own vibes, or would you like me to choose intuitively myself? I just wanted to ask what is I need to hear right now. Okay, I can do that for you, no problem. Would you prefer to choose your decks, or would you prefer that I just choose based on my intuitive feelings? Going through a lot and had some issues with the situation that's kept me in limbo and wanted to see what needs to be said or heard based on my intuition. Okay, perfect. I can do that. No problem. Oh, thank you for the follows. Okay, so based on intuition for sacrificial exam, I feel drawn to one specific one. Definitely that one. I'll show you the decks once I'm done choosing them for you. I just need to decide how many first from an intuitive feeling. So that's definitely another. All right. That's a good one. Okay. So, phew, I'm just gonna take a moment to hydrate myself. And I just did a very big reading before you, so I'm gonna try to recuperate real quick, if you don't mind. And then I'm gonna show you your decks. Okay. Before I show you the decks, I I chose four, and I feel the need to tell you the numerology meaning of the number four, which stands for stability. It's like stability and staying grounded, and like it's like security, stability, like foundation and structure. And that's what it means for the number four. That's what it stands for. And I played four decks for you. And since you mentioned you're in limbo, this feels like this is your way of finding that. Hello. Yes, absolutely. You can get a reading. Welcome in. I'm about to start a reading for Sacrificials XO. Feel free to stay and watch their reading first if you'd like, or you can always come back. That's fine too. I'm about to start theirs first, or I can put you on a list if you'd like. I'll ask you in the stream when the time comes if you're still in the chat. Okay, so excuse me. So I played four decks for you to start. Four stands for stability and security, and I feel like this is like a desire you want. Um I feel like this is like something you want in your life. It feels like probably I'm hearing the word shambles, like your life is in shambles right now. Everything's a disaster, everything's all over the place. You don't, and it feels like you don't know how to fix it yet. And that's before even showing you the deck so far. Um, I I'm gonna play tarot first because I was drawn to tarot and it's telling me to play that first. So we're gonna use Tarot of the Divine for you. It's funny because out of the choices of decks that I chose for you, there's a couple that I actually haven't used that often. So this is like me breaking them in a little more, so it's very interesting for me. And I do know with this Divine Tarot deck, like it has the regular deck of tarot, but it also has some additional cards to it. So the additional cards in the deck might be played as well. Keep that in mind. So this one's Divine Tarot. This will be played first for you. And then they're telling me to give you the order I'm going to play them. I'm feeling drawn to specific decks in specific orders. So the next deck is called Dream Reading Cards. I actually haven't played this deck that often, so I don't really know what will come up for messages, but we'll find out. I may or may not read from the book from this, though, if I'm being honest with you, because I'm not used to it. I'll try my best to do an interpretation first, but I might read from it as well with it. Then we have life purpose cards. I felt drawn to this, so I feel like you might have some messages and what direction you want to go in terms of maybe your career or just way of life. I'm hearing way of life and the direction you want to take. It feels like you want to like have confirmation messages specifically towards this, or like guiding messages. It feels like you could have one or the other before I start playing this. And then the last card I felt drawn to is my Moonology deck for your reading for the last card. So this one, I think I'll do a mix. This feels like it'll be like your final messages, what you need to hear for final message in your reading. I might also read from the book. Sometimes there's specific messages in the book as well. So a couple of them I'll read from the book, but for most of them I'll start with interpretation first. Unless for this deck I feel like the message on the card is very straightforward and that's all you need to hear at that time, that's what I'll do. The only thing I ask is that with your reading, if you could let me know if anything resonates or not. Either way, I love hearing feedback. So just to make sure you're still following along, let me know if you're ready and then I'll start. The tarot, I'm still learning. I'll do interpretation first and I will also read. I have a tarot book on my phone, so if you see me on my phone, that's me reading the meaning of the actual tarot to you. So let me know if you're ready. Sacrificial Sexo. And Dan Takiro, you're welcome. I'll let you know when the time comes. Okay, so let's put these in. I'm gonna play them. Okay, great. So you're ready. Perfect. So we're gonna start with the tarot. And I don't have like the camera's okay when it views me, but when I show the card, it's not like great. So they're really pretty in this deck, so I'll try my best to show you what it looks like. I need to start by shuffling it first, because it's not shuffled to you yet. So give me just a moment. I'm being told, interesting. Okay, so I'm being told if I do read from this deck, they're telling me to read from the book it comes with. They're telling me not to read from the tarot book I have on my phone. So I'll do that if I feel the need to read it. Hello. Okay, there's a lot that fell out. There's so much right now. Let me shuffle up some more, make sure they're specific. Hold on. Any specific order? Messages. Specific. This one feels like an indecision. I haven't seen any of these yet. I have them on the like backside so far, so the first time you see them is the first time I see them too. I just a lot of cards fell out for you, so I need to figure out what they all are first. Should be this way. It's gonna be all these messages, or is that it? This. Oh, so okay, you have a lot of tarot. So I'm gonna do my best. I'm running out of room, so I'm gonna have to stack these specific way. Just to remember what order they go in. All right. We're gonna play the first card. That very well. I'm trying to do. You have the Ten of Cups. Cups in the suits of tarot relate to emotions and well-being. I'm specifically drawn to the family that's sitting on a rock, but they're being watched. Uh, I don't know if this resonates with you, but it feels like there's like some kind of dispute, and it feels like legal actions might be involved. It also feels very complicated. There's I'm drawn to like the man in the middle of the card. It feels like he has like his eyes set on a goal, but like the couple is not ready to give it up yet. And it makes me I don't know if this scenario is specific to you, but the scenario like complexity in general makes me think of like someone who's like makes me think of someone who wants to be a surrogate for somebody else, but then they become very drawn to their baby that is like who someone else wants to have because that's what they asked them to do for. So like it may not be a specific scenario in that way to you, but like the complexity of it is the same. I see like the smiling man. It makes me think of a husband, and I see him looking and being very drawn to the baby. Like the baby makes him very happy. In terms of like hearing the word baby and thinking of the portal towards the future, the baby is going to have very good ambition and goals. It feels like the baby will have very healthy ambition and a forward goal in life. I'm going to read from the book now. That was like my own interpretation. Like I said, it feels very complex. Um, it might not be something, a lot of the times when it comes to readings, psychics who do readings for others, a lot of the times the way they interpret is based on experiences they've had themselves. And I'm not sure if this is an experience I've had, but what spirit does is they send me images in my mind's eye of things that I could relate to in relation to what I'm interpreting. So like if I watch a show so many times, it'll show me a scene from that show and what that specific message is. So I don't know if I have that close connection to this specifically, but for some reason it has a lot of complexities around feelings. It feels like two sides, and it feels like both feelings are very valid. Like both have their own rights in their feelings. So far. I'm gonna read from the book for the first card. There was a lot of tarot cards that ran out. Ran out. That's a very specific word that they had me say. I don't know why they told me to say it. So I don't know if the word ran out means anything to you. Ran out, maybe left, or something like that. But I actually lost my train of thought just now. So, um, I feel like you had a lot of tarot that came out, so there's a lot of messages coming for you of something leaving. Yeah, like left, ran out, walked out, leaving, something along those lines. They had me say it, and I didn't mean to say it. Okay, so Ten of Cups. I, I went right in the cups. I'll show you what the card looks like again. Someone you can say so. Walked out of a situation we were in, hence the limbo. Okay. There's complex feelings involved on both sides. So, like, I think your feelings of limbo are just straight up confusion, but the other side has very complicated feelings towards it. Like, towards maybe not the situation, but towards something that led up to the situation. Okay, so I'm going to read you the Ten of Cups. This was the first card. It says Jolner the Seaborn. So it came up right. It says harmony, reunion, security, domestic bliss, found family. And I got the family vibe part of it, but it was very complex. The Ten of Cups represents true emotional and spiritual fulfillment after many hard trials. Jolnir finds a happy, loving husband and has a child. Her brother rises from the sea, which often represents the subconscious, to congratulate her and celebrate her newfound life. Interesting. So, I don't know if this would be accurate to your situation, but it feels like maybe a third person is involved in this particular situation. I feel like I should also, like, it came in the upright position, but I feel like I should also read the reverse for you from this book. It says dysfunctional family, broken home, instability, conflict, and neglect. And I don't feel like that's on you, but the other side. It's possible, not sure. Okay, no worries. All right, next card is the Page of Cups. Also cups. Cups is related to emotion. I see the rabbit. I'll show you a closer image in just a moment. I'm going to do interpretation first. I see the rabbit tying the strings around the ankle, which makes me think of a ball and chain, which tells me like some kind of controlling and heavy weighted behavior. So like it was holding someone back or holding someone down. But the person that it's happening to feels very free-spirited and feels like confident in themselves. In the card itself, it has an image of a smiling boy. Parents are strict and want this person to finish school. Oh, interesting. I wonder if that's related to this card that I've just played that I'm interpreting. The card, I will show you in just a second, has the boy holding a bowl of water, maybe? It's a bowl of something, some kind of liquid. And like the boy is looking away, smiling and happy, but this bowl is being held upright, like it holds weight and importance and significance to it. But it also, because the boy is not looking at the bowl, it also shows it's not something they actually care about. It's not something they want, but they're holding it up just so they don't so they don't drop it, so they don't break it, so they don't ruin it. They're holding it. But the rabbit down below the feet, it's like, I'm gonna trip you so you can stop looking at it. You know, it's how the vibe goes so far. Um I see I think they're like little moons or something, but it makes me think of the word spotlight. It makes me think this person wants to be in the spotlight. Like this feels like the spotlight's more their vibe. So this is the card of what I just started interpreting for you so far. Is a Page of Cups. I'm gonna read. Also, before I read it from the book, that same person is like stuck where they are right now. Like they don't, it doesn't feel like they're like, I don't want to say forgetting the past, but like they're not letting the past bug them too much, but they're also not heading towards the future. I resonate there because said person is doing things when communication is so watered down and distant with keeping tabs, like random photos of me on socials. It's weird. Okay. So the spotlight thing makes sense. Oh, interesting. Okay, so that's like a dynamic between the two of you, it sounds like. And you just said watered down, and that would make sense maybe for the bowl of water. That could be part of it. I don't know. Like it feels like notice me, please. Yeah. I don't know this person, but I trust what you're feeling. So I'm gonna read the Page of Cups to you now from the book. Like I said, I normally read the tarot book that I have on my phone, but Spirit's telling me to read specifically from the one that comes from the deck. This came in upright position, so let me read the upright position for you for the Page of Cups. Bakunawa and the Seven Moons. Okay, I mentioned spoons, moons, and spotlights. So, the Page of Cups is connected to his emotions and expresses himself wholly with youthful purity. In this card, one of the seven young moon siblings plays with Tu Shen. I'm assuming it's the human in the image. The Chinese god of the same-sex relationship who ties the red thread of fate that connects lovers. Okay, so that's the little ribbon on the bone, the bone. That's the little ribbon by the ankles that I mentioned that the rabbit looks like it's trying to trip. And like in the weights and so on. Youthfulness, idealism, sensitivity, romance, spirituality. And then, I'm feeling with these cards that I should read both upright and reverse meanings for you for some reason. So the reverse says bad news, jealousy, obsession, childhood problems, and immaturity. For this card, I'll show you both cards again. This was the first one. Let's see that. This was the second one. Now, your third card intrigues me because the way it was played is sideways. And for me personally, when the card is played sideways, it means it's an indecision, like an impasse, indecision. So you can choose which direction it goes in, is how I feel about cards that are sideways usually. Just for advance notice. Now I'm going to flip it over. So far you got 3 cards that are all cups. All of these relate to emotions and the heart and well-being. You have 9 of cups now. So the image on the 9 of cups of this particular deck is very intimate looking. It has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It has 5 cups on a display on top, and then 4 cups below behind the woman. I'm specifically seeing some form of gay relationship. I don't know if that's specific to anybody or not, but that's coming up for me in the reading so far. At least with this card, though they're paying close attention to each other, but she's not acknowledging the 4 stable cups behind her, so she feels very safe and secure with this person. And this person is like caressing the head in this image, which means they're considering and being protective of this person, like not they don't want to hurt this person. But it like they don't want to hurt this person, but it also feels like there's a piece missing here. Like it feels like they don't want to hurt this person, but maybe they're also like not vibing with this person, but they want to be close to them, if that makes sense. It feels like a very complicated set of feelings. It feels confusing. It feels like they do cherish this person a lot, but it also feels like they don't know what they want. They don't know what they should do or the direction they take. And it also feels like this person is like, because they don't know what they want and they don't know what direction they want to take, they don't want to hurt this person, but it also feels like they're gonna like run away from the situation, specifically because they don't know how to handle it. They don't know how to handle that particular situation, and it's making them shut down. And they're also like, they're very confused. They're shutting down. They I'm hearing the word like don't want to deal with it anymore, but their intentions never started as like their intention in the beginning was never to hurt, but they don't know how to handle it. They don't know how to function in that scenario. And the woman I see that's very comfortable in this situation, she's like caressing the face on this card. She feels like confident and secure and happy, and she's very compassionate towards this person and understanding towards this person. She also feels like she's someone who always forgives this person as well. Even if like crazy stuff has happened, it also feels like crazy stuff such as like fighting over something very serious. You still forgave that person. Like this is what this energy this woman feels like she's given, and it feels like she's actually given her all, but like she also feels like the other person hasn't given enough is what I get from this card so far. You are right. This would be a same-sex/gender relationship. Oh, all right. Thank you for letting me know. Wow, so much done back. Yeah, like I said, this is all based on interpretation. You know, take what resonates with you, leave the rest, of course. Oh, that's interesting. Shocked because it resonates. Thank you. I try. I like hearing the feedback because, you know, I usually hear good feedback, but sometimes when I don't hear anything, I personally don't have like strong confidence in my readings for some reason. I think it's just instinctive. So I appreciate your feedback. Thank you. So this card unpacked a lot in the last, I think, couple minutes. So I'm gonna finally show you what it looks like, just so you can see it. So this is the like woman I said that is very comfortable, and then this is the other one that's like struggling that I mentioned. And then these are the cups down below. Like this woman that's lying down is very comfortable. Like she's not worried about knocking those cups down over. Like she's the stable one in the relationship. She's the one that keeps everything together all the time, is what I see in this card. And the other one is I don't know if you ever play like D&D, but she feels like she's like chaotic neutral. So, like, if I'm being direct about it. Like I feel like the intentions are never I feel like the intentions aren't specifically to harm or to hurt or to like do bad things. I think it's just like instinctive sometimes. It just like happens and it's natural. Or like it I also feel like her response is I'm saying her, I'm sorry if it's not her, but that's what's coming out at this time. So it also feels like her natural response to issues is run away. I forget what that's called. There's a word for that. It's people who are incapable of handling problems. They have like specific traits. Some people run away, some people shut down in the moment and get like really quiet. Some people can be like I forget what the other one is, angry or something. Like they have a adverse reaction. Like there's specific words for those. Unfortunately, I can't remember them at this time. But her natural response is to run away from something that I'm being told scares her, something that scares her. So, and I'm being told that like it feels like it might have been a happy message or like it feels like it maybe not necessarily a happy message, but a serious one in terms of like moving things forward in the relationship is what's coming up. And like that part was scary-ish. Like that part is scary. It also feels like that other person might have some past relationship trauma that is still affecting them today. It brings up some inner anxieties and they don't understand the difference between a healthy relationship and a non-healthy relationship. they're learning. I'm being told that they're learning the differences within them, but like it's a work in progress and it's going to be taking time. Right. So that one came up sideways. So that one, like I said, can this feels like it's something that can change. So it's a choice to be made. They stay around, but we don't communicate, and I don't push or bother much due to their school. But this is something I felt on their end too. Oh, interesting. It sounds like you're trying to prevent pressure and you're being patient with your partner because they said they want me, but not just yet. Okay, I get that. So there's someone, I think communication would be important. And they were consistent to which it dropped significantly in February in terms of communicating with you. So like I think it'd be best to communicate and to learn about which goals and directions each person wants, both in terms of life and in terms of relationship. Because if I have a good friend who once told me, how long are you willing to wait? So on your side of it, it's you being the patient one, and I feel like you're the rock in the relationship, right? Um, in terms of your patience, how long would you be willing to wait for this person? And what do you require in terms of your own boundaries and specifics to make things work? Because you're important too. And it's been very wishy-washy. So when I try to talk, it's left unread or short responses. Yeah, with me. Okay, so you're not getting the communication you want so far. I haven't read your other cards yet, but in terms of just from your conversation alone, you haven't gone, or your communication has dropped to less. It could be as something as simple as them being more focused on their studies, but it's definitely best to like make sure both people are on the same page so you can protect yourself. It's simple being straightforward with what they want to say, do it with what they want to say slash do. It's very indirect. So it's highly inconsistent, and yeah, communication is just dry, and I don't push based off of what they tell me, so I respected it. Yeah, but you gotta respect yourself too. So like if someone just straight up not communicated with me, that sends me a very different message than someone who actually wanted to be with me. If they want you and want to be with you, they will make the time. That's how I personally go with my own standards. So like that may not be you in your situation, which is totally fine. Um, but like you need to consider yourself first. You need to consider your heart. You need to consider how long you're willing to wait and what your needs are within the relationship, because relationships work both ways. One side being submissive is not a healthy and coexistent relationship with each other. Oh yeah, I hope you don't mind. I'm a very like 100% reader. I don't sugarcoat anything. I do try to be nice about it though. So thank you. Okay, so like I said, you had a lot of tarot, so I'm gonna move on to the next one. That should be, yes, I agree. I also personally prefer that anyway. Okay, let's move on to the next one. Oh, we have the sun in reverse. Okay, so the sun, in terms of the tarot, is one of the major arcanas. And one interesting thing about this card is that even if it comes in reverse, its overall meaning always stays positive and it negates any negative cards. All your cards so far came upright, but I felt the need to read you both the upright and the reverse meaning specifically. And then this card is the first card in the row of cards that fell out for you that came up reversed. It's the Egyptian sun god Horus. Horus represents wisdom. Okay, he is the god of wisdom. And, you know, it's kind of ironic because Horus is actually related to the moon and intuition and intuitive feelings. So you're actually someone who's very connected and self-aware. Like you're a very self-aware person. And it also feels like you know what you want and you need, but you're like suppressing it. You're suppressing it with yourself for some reason. Let's see what else I get off this card. I'm hearing the word adventure, and I'm seeing river specifically, something about the river. I don't know if that's something you enjoy or if you like going kayaking or canoeing or something. But something related to the river is significant. And because it was played in reverse, the direction that the character is looking is all in the past. It's all in the past. Not that I'm aware. Wait. No, not that I'm aware. With river significance? Oh, wait, no, the kayaking and canoeing? Yeah, that's okay. It just, it might not resonate. That's fine. But the word river, whether it be an actual river or maybe even a name river, something related to river is significant. Just keep it in mind for the future if it's not something you resonate with now. Um, what was I saying? Oh, right. The direction that the character is looking because it's in reverse is like constantly thinking and looking at the past. It's all past events. And that's what I get from the sun card so far. So I'm going to read from the book now for that one. It's not necessarily, it would be in the beginning. Um, just like, there it is. Oh, oh, interesting. Okay, no, I interpreted the wrong god, but that's okay. That meant it was part of the reading. So it's the Egyptian deity. It was actually the god Ra. It wasn't Horus, but that makes sense because they're brothers. The sun is success, birth, confidence after passing through difficult times. Egyptian sun god Ra proves everything is illuminated with optimism and enthusiasm for the path ahead. And it's in reverse, so it's looking in the past. The upright meaning is satisfaction, accomplishment, joy, luck, and vitality, but the reverse meaning is missed opportunities, delays, doubt, fear of missing out, and depression for those meanings. And this was the card and what it looks like. Sorry for the deity misrepresentation, but that still meant it was part of your reading. Um, are you a camper? Do you like camping? Because that's coming up right now. Are you someone who likes to go and kind of like go alone in the woods? No. What about glamping? I love nature and animals, but don't like to don't like to get dirty. That's okay, but it's coming up for some reason. So maybe it's like just vibes, like bonfire vibes or s'mores or something. I'm not sure, but it did come up. Or maybe someone you know likes to camp. A hard time reaching them when they go out in the woods. 'Cause there's no service. Next is Eight of Coins. This is a very interesting image to me. So coins usually represents the material, like the physical items and like all the earthly things. This image looks like a lot of pain. There's a lot of pain in this image. She's stepping on a lot of thorns, and then she's being prickled by touching a lot of thorns and her heart, and then there's like swans flying above behind her, and that's like the majestic scene. Like that feels like a missed dream. It feels like the like if she turned around, she could see and witness something so beautiful grow and just witness it and feel good. But the image of her in this card, like it feels like she's trying to fix things, but she's causing herself more harm by doing so, is what it looks like. So I'm gonna show you, like she's crying tears, but like her face shows like strength and she's trying to be strong is how it looks. I don't know if you can see that, but like her foot, she's stepping right on a thorny pentacle. She's down in the other foot that's like hit it. She's got it resting on her foot there, and then she's touching the one she's holding up. I'm hearing the word baby, so like maybe you're babying someone, and you babying them is actually hurting you by proxy because you're trying to hold things together, but that's like there's things that aren't your responsibility. You shouldn't have to feel like you're the only one doing that. And then um part one of the pentacles in the image that I just showed, the one she's like holding together, has like a piece missing. It's like it's broken off. It's like the situation is breaking. And then I also see them as all these pentacles I see. Typically the pentacle itself represents protection in terms of talismans, but um with it being all thorny like this, and for some reason it makes me think of all those relationships like I mentioned earlier. I might be reiterating some things I said already. If I do, that's usually just confirmation in terms of the message. It makes me think of relationships that didn't work out. And it also feels like it's a repeated pattern. It feels like this pattern is being repeated multiple times. Um, it also feels very frustrating because it feels like you're like stuck in this eternal loop and it hasn't changed. Like things haven't changed. So in that particular situation means that moment means that you need to take the step to change and do something different. I'm being told you should do what you want. What do you want? Figure out what it is. Figure out what you want. Stop considering the others in this situation. Decide for you in this moment. Spend time to think about you, your well-being, what you want for your future, how you see things going. Think about all the scenarios that could possibly happen and which direction you think would be better for you. So I'm gonna each of these cards I'm reading from the deck for you. I'm gonna also read the top card. So 8 of Coins. Let's see what comes up for 8 of Coins for you. Excuse me. 6 Swans. The 8 of Coins represents the long haul, the sloth, I think, in the middle of a project that needs to be completed. The little princess needs to keep weaving nettles in silence if she wishes to set her cursed brother free. Okay, yeah, so that's like she's choosing to suffer, but she's considering someone else. So like her well-being is suffering because of another person is what I'm getting out of this. So it's upright position. It says craftsmanship, commitment, determination, ambition, and concentration. So the upright meaning from the book gives me another message. It says, so like there's parts of your situation that are confusing and not consistent and also not well communicated from based on what you said. It's now is the time to really judge what you want. You can choose to stay if you want to, but choose how long you want to wait for. Make sure your answer, like your answer and that person's answer, is clear. Like they claim they want to be together. Make sure you're confident that you know it's true if you do decide to stay, because that shows your own commitment to that person. But don't do it in a way where it affects you negatively, in a way where you no longer think about yourself. So if you choose to stay committed, this message is like for that moment, in terms of like you choosing to stay, right? If you choose to stay, spend the time focusing on something while that other person is still focusing on things, so time moves forward quicker for the both of you. But make sure you have the occasional engagements, right? And then, like I said before, really judge. I don't know how long they have in the school. If they are a freshman in college, right? If they're a freshman in college and they're already dropping a lot of communication with you, and let's say it gets worse and worse over months at a time, right? I would consider that a very large message to move on. But if they try their best to communicate with you, but they're still busy, then keep that in consideration and base it on your own judgment in that moment. Oh, good. Final year of pharmacy school. Okay, so they could be in the final red and be very busy. That could be it. It wouldn't be like the freshman year. If it was freshman year, it'd be very different. Final year is usually more. However, they should still communicate with you. Maybe like I'm assuming you send messages through text or something, maybe send a very specific message, right? Like you want to confirm, you need to know, even if it's like, because you said earlier in the chat, you said that it's kind of vague, right, for the answer sometimes, which is hard to decipher from, right? So instead of giving them open-ended questions, you could write like the things you need in a text, right? And instead of making it an open-ended question, make it a yes or no list of questions. Yes, no, and start there and see what they say first, and then maybe you can do some judgments off of that. Maybe they might type more, and you can start with that because it feels like you care about this person a lot and you want to be there and do your best for them. But if I can't tell with the energy of your partner very well in this particular situation, but like your energy needs more, like you need more. So I think you should state to them that you need more because you're having a hard time. Like, admit that you're having a hard time because they're not giving you what you need. I have tried and no response, but today this person popped in like nothing has happened. And yesterday they kept liking photos on my Instagram. Oh, I do, but it's weighing on me now. Okay, then I don't usually suggest ultimatums because it's usually got a negative response. You could consider one, or you can say that, you know, you can just write your feelings and how you're feeling in this moment, and you don't have to say the word break because that usually like makes people automatically think of breakup, even though that's not what a lot of people mean. They just need space. You can say you need space for a little bit because you're having a hard time, because you definitely aren't getting what you need in this particular situation so far. All right, I got a couple more tarot for you. We have Knight of Cups in reverse. Another cup card, another emotion card. And it's upside down, but this like makes me think of rain. Hello, welcome in. And we aren't officially together, but he acts and does these little cues that make me think he still wants me. Ah, okay, so you feel like you're being led on, is what it sounds like. So that situation's harder because if you're not officially together, then you may have never been together. So that needs clarity. And if they can't give you that answer, if I'm being very direct about it, I suggest moving on. Because otherwise, you're just being led on and you're setting yourself up for potential heartbreak if things go wrong. That's why I've been confused for about 3 months. Yeah, like kept at arm's length. Yeah, I think you should consider yourself first. Definitely. It's not a good feeling. The Your current scenario is not a good feeling of when you're led on, especially for that long. Like I personally feel like it shouldn't take that long to make clear what your relationship is, unless you both decided to like just be chill about it. I have, and he said, I still want you. Life's at a standstill. I can't devote to you. And there right now, given how things are, I don't want to hurt you in the aloneness, but nothing has changed. Um, I'm gonna go in like stereotype territory real quick. This person isn't of like Asian descent or anything, are they? If you don't mind me asking, of course. Um, really unfortunately. I know typically those who are of Asian descent definitely prioritize school, career before relationships, and when it comes to their relationship, they think about it seriously in terms of the future, but that's like very based in their culture and how they were raised. Um, so like based on what you wrote, or I'm assuming your partner wrote, I don't understand why it says life at a standstill. To me, that doesn't make sense. I can't devote to you, and right now, given how things are, I don't want to hurt you and me along this, but nothing has changed. So, so if I get rid of the first four words, you get rid of those first four words, the rest of it is more of a negative context, if I'm being honest with you. It's like it's saying they can't devote to you, life's at a standstill, so they feel stuck given things right now and how they are. What does that mean? I don't want to hurt you and me along this. Like they're talking about both of you in this situation, but they said nothing has changed, meaning they want to keep it the way it is instead of moving forward, which goes back to the earlier part of your reading, stating how it was it felt like they were like I said they felt like they were stuck in place, not really looking in the past, but also not moving forward either. I think referring to school and stuff. Okay. I mean, you could choose for yourself to wait since you know they're in the last section of their school, but then there's no excuse after that. So if you choose for yourself, you can set a time limit on how long you're willing to wait for and wait till the school term has ended and maybe give it like I'll say a couple weeks, right, to cool down because graduation and all the hype and all that stuff, right? Um, but after that, there's no excuse. Like if they bring up like career, like looking for jobs and stuff, that can wait because they just graduated and you've been waiting for a long time. So in my mind, you'd be more priority at that point in time. So I suggest starting with like your patience. How long are you willing to test your patience for? Oh, that they didn't want to lose me, they to put time down and walk forward, but the other thing that you still wanted, except for the whole either one of those could be that the head would move to get his license here in the United States after everything. Yeah, but like, there'll be a hype like right after graduation, but then there's like a calm. So within the calm, like that calm, I think is the opportunity window for you to try for. Yeah, yeah. So I'd start there. Um, sorry, I got distracted, so I'm gonna this one makes me think of rain. So river, rain, water is significant somehow. It's been 4 months since school started. Okay, so there's quite a bit left in the school term. Could probably prioritize the like breaks, winter break, spring break, and all that, holidays, those can be prioritized, I think. I think for such short months. For what's left or oh, you mean started. Yeah. Okay. So I think I'm gonna just read from the book for this one, since there's medical rotations, etc. Yeah, and I'm sure there's like clinical study and hands-on experience too. That's usually what's there most of the time. So I see the horse in this image. Maybe meaning of the horse might be significant in some way. Knight of Cups. I went too far. So it came in reverse. So Halibu the hunter. The Knight of Cups is a messenger. Halibu is kind and gentle, while also willing to take a stand for what he believes. Halibu provides for his village, and after befriending a dragon, he willingly sacrifices himself to save everyone he loves. Upright meaning chivalry, affection, invitations, taken action, meaningful gifts. Yours came in reverse. Reverse meaning signifies heartbreak, infidelity, lack of diplomacy. Sorry, I read that wrong. Moodiness and pettiness. I'm gonna play the last card too. Eight of Cups. A lot of cups cards for you. All of it's very emotional. Um, Eight of Cups is in the upright position. Did I show you what that card is? This was the Knight of Cups. It came in reverse. And I feel like these are two pieces that should be together. This is the Eight of Cups, and this is in the upright position. Let's see that one. Eight of Cups, I see the like person in the desert at night. They like walked away. It feels like they're walking away. Um, the Eight of Cups is perfectly stacked though. So let me actually right near it. So Egypt, Hebrew legend. The Eight of Cups represents leaving good things behind in pursuit of higher ideals. Okay, that would match. That would match the career and the schooling, right? Moses was raised as a prince of Egypt, but realized he needed to sacrifice his royal life and wealth to pursue a spiritual and ascetic one. Upright meaning walking away, introspection, escapism, withdrawal, and seeking truth. Reverse meaning says aimlessness, fear of abandonment, depression, settling, hopelessness. And this is actually the second card played in the row that stated and brought up depression. So I don't know if that is something significant between either you or your partner. But if either of you suffer from it, I highly suggest to seek and get some help for that, just to help you come over that hump. Okay. Yeah, so that part might also be like with like I think I mentioned past traumas and stuff. I think a lot of that's related. But unfortunately, from what you've said, it sounds like they don't even have time to work on themselves in that way. He did tell me 2 months ago he was not himself. Yeah, so it might, maybe it's another one of those. I don't know this person personally, only you do in this particular situation. But depression has come up twice in the reading so far, and I do think it's significant in a strong way. And that it's slowly getting better since I last addressed it. Oh, nice. Okay. It feels like this person probably needs therapy, but from based on what you said, it sounds like they don't have time for it. I suggest those, there's phone support, like text support systems that help with like therapy when you need it. I suggest doing those or making the suggestion for it. If they're not medicated, I highly think they should try. Six of Cups in reverse. Oh, am I being laggy? Oh, I'm so sorry. Okay. I think sometimes when my computer is working a little extra hard, it might get laggy. I'm so sorry. Okay, so Six of Cups in reverse is the top of the deck energy. Usually the Six of Cups represents partnerships. It's in reverse. So let's see what it says. The Snow Queen. The Six of Cups evokes a nostalgia for sweeter times. Kai and Gerda are best friends as children, but when Kai is struck with depression, oh, that's 3 depression. He leaves with the Snow Queen. Through many adventures, Gerda saves him, but by then, innocence is gone. So it's saying that was 3 for depression. So I definitely think that's a big thing going on here. For some reason I'm thinking of like I apologize if this is offensive in any way. It's not meant to be. It's meant to like just be interpreted. Um I'm also like being told like bipolar disorder, because often mental disorders work and correlate with another disorder very often. Like a lot of people have like depression and anxiety, but this feels more like it's like depression and bipolar disorder that is difficult to control, is what it feels like, which would make sense to me based on the energy I felt in the beginning of this reading. Um, because that's often very unpredictable behavior, and that feels like it might be something related. Um, and then let's see. Is there anything else? So upright meaning is nostalgia, old friends, simple joys, sharing, and childhood, but it came up in reverse. Reverse says the future. Letting go, leaving home, and rose-tinted glasses. Oh, there was a lot of tarot. My goodness. So let me see if this. Swords. Ten of Swords represents backstabbing and betrayal. Sedna's father pushes her from his kayak. That's his second kayak in this reading. And chops off her fingers when she tries to cling to his boat. Wow, that's very violent. She sinks to the bottom of the ocean and becomes consumed with wrath, eternally seeking revenge. Upright. Bitterness, betrayal, rock bottom, martyrdom, severing ties, reverse, serenity, disaster, recovery, regeneration, and the inevitable. So it feels like there's more at play. It does feel like there's mental stuff going on. There could be some seriousness happening to maybe your partner's in a particular state of mind where they don't understand or know what to do at this moment in time. even though you're being very clear about your feelings, they probably don't understand how to process or really think about theirs with whatever's going on in that moment. Um, oh, that's the word. Thank you. Okay. So my therapist said it gives off dismissive avoidant tendencies. So earlier in your reading, I mentioned like running away. It's related to that avoidant tendencies. Yes, I agree with that. I think is dismissive is more like a challenge for this person. Avoidant tendencies, I feel like is like 100, yes. Dismissive, I feel like is like 70-30. Like, I feel like they are often that way, but they don't want to be. Like, there's like part of them that doesn't like that part of themselves, is what I feel from that personally. Um, but like I said before, I think in order to protect yourself, decide how long you're willing to wait. And like I also said that it feels like you're like the person who holds the relationship together, and since you're that person, right? You need to protect yourself too, and also like you should know when you feel like enough is enough as well. And when the time comes, like this person needs to give you a clear and straight answer, like no vagueness, direct answer, no open-ended answers at all. Like you need clarity and direction in terms of what you want, right? So like that's like what you need to tell your person when the time comes. It doesn't I feel like it doesn't have to be right now for you, since it feels like you're more in the energy of willing to wait for now, but you also need to decide how long after everything is done where you want to go, because you're already in the situation where you feel like it's kind of I'm gonna say it this way, you feel like it's dragging on. That's how your energy feels about it right now. um and I don't know about the other person, but like they could be in like they're just hyper focused for all I know. So focus on yourself, your needs, what you want, where you need to go first, and then do that first, and then decide either direction. Like think about all scenarios for you. Like where do you see yourself if you did this? And where do you see yourself if you did the opposite of this? Like think out both scenarios. If you think of any negative scenarios, this is a weird advice. But like if you think of negative scenarios, think of worst possible scenarios so you can mentally prepare yourself for that particular situation. And if you think of the best scenario, think of it lightheartedly, you know. Okay, so that was a whole mouthful for all your tarot. I'm gonna finally move on to your oracle cards now. So give me just a moment so I can pick up this portion real quick. Yeah, no problem. So I'm gonna move on to the next deck. The next deck is the one I said that I actually haven't used that often. So keep an open mind with it like you have been. Like I said, some things might not resonate with you right now, but they might later on. Or it just came up for no reason, for all I know. I don't know. But it came up, you know. All right. Where's the book? There's the book. Hello, welcome in. So let's move on to your next deck for your reading and continue it. So this is the next part of your reading. When I started your reading, I said that I identified what in numerology what the number 4 meant for you. Your soul desires stability and security, definitely. It like comes out strongly for that. Okay. So I may or may not read from the book of this too. We'll see what comes out. All right. I'm gonna take a break first. Recuperate myself from the tarot. Alright. So I'm going on to the next one. It's called Dream Reading Cards. Won't even let me pick it up. It's first. I guess these must be, they want me to play that together, so I'll read that afterwards. I'm gonna play 4 of these cards because that seems to be the outside of the tarot. That's the significance for you in this reading. 3. Last card. Oh, guess not. Guess we're playing 5 cards. Why not? Why not? Okay, just making sure you're still there. Ready for the next part of your reading? Okay. Alright, let's get things. Oracle. It goes between Oracle and Dreams for this. So this says Oracle. It says Wisdom. Wisdom came up in your reading again. Experience and failure led to wisdom. Apply wisdom to a present situation. Learn from the spirit world and its collective knowledge. Man, I'm in the middle of someone else's reading right now, and I have a couple more decks to go. I go based on general readings, so I just do what comes to me at that time. I have one person after the current one being read on the list of readings. It is getting late for me, so I don't know how much longer after that I will, but I can put you on a list to do a reading on another stream if you'd like. Okay, back to your reading, Sacrificial XO. So first card says wisdom, experience and failure led to wisdom. Apply wisdom to a present situation and learn from the spirit world and its collective knowledge. And this is what the card looks like. She has a very decisive face. This, I feel like the message on the card itself was all you needed. And this feels like this is more like your energy. This is you in this particular card. Next card is a dream card from the deck, and it says vehicle/car. It says, do you know what direction you want to go in life? Do you feel in control of your life plans? And do you represent the car model in your dream? So this is like, this feels like it's me reiterating, like, make sure you do things for you too. You also have to respect yourself, and you matter too. So like, don't only think about your partner, also think about you, your desires, your well-being, and what you need. Yeah, that feels right. Yeah. Yeah, it feels like a confirmation card for me. It's hinted for sure. I understand. No worries. Okay, there's another dream card next, so I'm gonna read that next for you. It says possessions. Do you need to redefine what you value? What is the cost of your loss? And what are some changes that are causing you to feel undervalued? So yeah, this, I feel like so far with these cards that I'm playing second, like the message on the card directly is like confirmation cards from some things I've already been saying so far based on what they say below. But they feel like it's just like reconfirmation, if I'm being honest. So it wants you to reconsider what is most valuable to you. What is the cost of your loss, and what are some changes that are causing you to feel undervalued? What do you need? What needs to change? Next is another oracle. Oh, I love it. It says magic. Shift your focus to a positive view. So a lot of like the reading came off kind of negative, and from what you've written in messages, like there's confirmations from some things and some things you resonated with, but overall you're more on the optimistic side, so you're already pretty good at that. Um, Shift your focus to a positive view. So like make sure you include yourself in a positive view and realize with yourself, like regardless of whichever direction it goes in, there will always be something you learn from in the situation that you can take with you, which is a positive trait and attribute. We are all interconnected, linked by magic thread. Believe in yourself. You have magic in you. Believe in yourself. You have magic in you. And it's a picture, it has a moon, a Pegasus, and an owl flying. You can see that. Did I show you the one before that? Possessions? This was possessions. And this was magic. And then the last one says gratitude. Focus on the things you do have rather than the things you don't or can't have. Yes. Gratitude is another form of prayer. Practice it daily. Appreciate everything and everyone in your life. So, like, I feel like part of the big message from the cards currently being played is to shift your focus. You have to shift your focus first. Um, it also suggests that you can practice gratitude. Like there's very many things to be grateful for, and you can write down the things you're grateful for every day. Make sure it's like genuine and sincere, and it'll boost your vibration and have positive vibes. And part of that lingering limbo feeling that you're like dwelling on will like dissipate a little because you're focusing on something different instead of that particular situation. And this is the card for gratitude. I love it so far, and I feel like this is a good part to move on to the next section of your reading. I feel like Spirit has let out all the things you kind of needed with that limbo feeling and like regarding you and your partner. It may not have answered all your questions, but some things were reiterated and like brought to clarity to an extent for you. And I feel like you were given the advice you needed to know what your next steps are at this point in time. That's how it feels currently. So your reading's now shifting from that situation to something new. And the way these cards played out is slowly moving you into the next part, because one thing it said is like shift your focus. It also asked you a couple times in your reading so far what you want and what you want to get out of life, like the direction you want to take in your life. And actually, one of your decks was life purpose. So we're going to see what that comes out to next. Also, a common thing in your reading so far is birthing babies. I don't know if that's significant, or if there's anybody you know that's pregnant. Maybe it's a sign that someone will give birth soon, or it's something you've considered. I'm not sure, but there's definitely like subtle hints of birth and baby throughout your reading. Not like in terms of the actual interpretation of your reading, but it keeps popping up. And since it's popped up so many times, I feel the need to actually say it at this point in time. It also mentioned Moses, and then I mentioned rivers, and that was like in like the Prince of Egypt movie where the baby was in the basket in the river and it was Moses. So a cousin, yes. Ah, oh cute. Okay, so I'm gonna play life purpose cards. I'm just gonna see what comes out. I don't know if it's gonna be because there's like a mix in here. I don't know if it's gonna be towards a specific career necessarily. It might just be messages for you. So we'll see what comes out. First card that comes out says Healer. You have a spiritual gift of healing and a desire to share it with others. If you know, this is interesting to me because you were talking about your partner and pharmaceuticals. So this feels like this is like confirmation. I feel like this is like a card for you that you needed to see in this moment based on this reading. So this was your confirmation card in terms of a healer. So you have the spiritual gift of healing and a desire to share it with others. All right, let's play some more cards from this deck. Oh, hello. Okay, two just fell out. So let's see with it. And I feel like I should draw the top one too. So talk to your angels instead of worrying, ask for divine guidance. So like you came to this reading very confused and looking for guidance. You know, this talk to your angels card is also like a confirmation, like you're learning how to direct yourself in a way where you seek guidance when you need it. You don't always have to do it based on readings. You could also just ask them and you might see signs that just show up and pop up for you. And it would be repetitive signs. I don't know if I don't know if you're religious, but there's some like subtle religious vibes too. Like I've mentioned Moses, there's talk of angels. So it feels like there's something like in that a little bit too. It doesn't have to be strong, but it's like subtle. It feels subtle. And then we have sensitivity. You're becoming more sensitive and need to make changes accordingly. He is, yes, he's Christian and I have a Catholic background, but not too religious. But I will consider. Wee. Hello, everybody. Welcome in. I'm still working on a reading. There's one person in line. There's another person who showed interest, but I don't know how long I can do this for because I have to work in the morning. So I might end it after the third person. However, feel free to send me like a whisper or something if you want me to put you on a list for the next time I do a reading stream, and I will maybe I'll put like your names or something in the like live notifications for your reading. I will also post. I plan to post these on YouTube, so I hope that's okay with everybody. It will be on there eventually. Um, he's Christian and I have a Catholic background. Okay. Okay, great. So I am picking up on those little subtleties. So sensitivity, you're becoming more sensitive and need to make changes accordingly. So like you had the like confirmation you need. It was kind of repeated, right? So you heard what you needed to hear. And then now that you know that, like, you know, the like subtle changes you want to make within yourself. So you're like, you feel like you're ready for this. Like you feel ready to like make these minor changes for you. And those minor changes will make big changes. And I'm going to play the top card for you. Author, you have a book inside of you that wishes to be expressed. Make the time to write it. This makes me think it's a particular journey you've had. So I don't know if writing a book was part of your plan or something you've just subtly, like also subtly been thinking of, but it can be something like you've had this journey that you've been going along with and you wish to express it. I really like the When You Believe song. Yes, it's such a good movie. Such a good movie. Oh, all right. But yeah, so I don't know if this author thing resonates with you, but that's coming up. You have a book inside of you that wishes to be expressed. Make the time to write it. I also see the angels. So I feel like there's specific angels you like talking to, or like is near one of you. There's some kind of angel one of you might resonate with and you talk to often. It's a very protective and heartwarming feeling. It also almost feels like family. It feels like it could be like a guide as well. And it feels very supportive, super supportive. Okay, so that's from the Life Purpose deck. It was more based on, it was more confirmation messages. So I feel like there's like repetitive patterns happening now. So it's definitely nearing the end of your reading. Um, Next card, or next deck, I should say, is the final one that I mentioned in the beginning for you. It's the Moonology deck. And the Moonology deck I'm going to use as like the major messages for you to acknowledge at the final part of your reading. If I feel the need to read from the book, I will, but otherwise I usually take the quote at the bottom as the final message. If I have interpretations, I'll just say them like I do. Well, like I have been, I meant. Like I have been. Okay. Which one is it? Which one? That's definitely the signature. Some new users. Yeah. 1, 2. I see the number 5 in my mind's eye. 5 represents change. Changes need to be made, whether it's you or your partner. Everyone can still hear me, right? I'm not lagging or anything. It says I'm still streaming. I think I'm still there. You're found a dandy. Okay, great. I love the word dandy. Dandy. I love the word dapper too. Dandy and dapper. And let's get the final card for you. Perfect. Oh, my card's a little dented. Oh no. Okay. All right. Let's read your final messages. First one is step out of your comfort zone. Put it close to the light so you can actually see it. Step out of your comfort zone, the North Node. If I remember right, I believe the North Node is like the destiny one in astrology. I'm not very good at it, but I think that's what it is. Second one is balance spirituality and practicality. And I see the Pisces, it's like it's balancing both. Step out of your comfort zone, balance spirituality and practicality both. Practice both. And that's the full moon in Pisces. Full moon represents change. Pisces is often very correlated with deep emotion, very intuitive, very emotional beings. Excuse me. Next card is confidence is your key to success. New moon in Leo. So whatever you do, do it confidently. Do it in a decisive action. So like the balanced spirituality and practicality card, right? You seeked guidance, you looked for it and found it. Now that you found the spirituality part of it, practice the practicality part of it with the advice and the messages you've been given. Use it use it in a practical manner and be decisive with whatever decision you make. Make sure it's a decision you choose to go down and follow through with it. Confidence is your key to success. New moon in Leo. New moon represents new beginning, and Leo stands for confidence. And it's also, Leo is the zodiac sign that loves the spotlight. Believe in the impossible. Blue moon. They say blue moons are rare. And the message is believe in the impossible. And final message is the answers you need are coming. The answers you need are coming. Full moon in Gemini. Gemini is the twins. Often they say it's like the two sides of a personality back and forth. They say sometimes Gemini is very unpredictable. Full moon is rare moments, rare occurrences. And the final message for you was the answers you need are coming. So step out of your comfort zone, balance spirituality and practicality. Confidence is your key to success. Believe in the impossible and the answers you need are coming. So reading it like that is like the final message sentence for you. That's like the final part of the reading for you. I hope it really resonated. Is there any final questions you might have, or do you think you're on the good part? Ask my final take. I resonate a lot. Oh, great. So like, which is crazy how you connected and called things. Yeah, I will call things out. I hope I didn't offend you. I don't sugarcoat anything, so. So okay, great. I'm so good. Thank you so much. So you said my final take on the reading. So like the reading itself was interpreted I'm not Englishing well because I'm starting to get tired, so um so the reading itself was to be interpreted to help guide you in a direction, right? So, but like with the final messages, right? That's how you interpret it with the final message. But in terms of my own personal opinions, like this is my opinion versus like the reading itself. I think even though the communication has been very difficult and technically the way the direction is going, you're being led on. I think based on your own behavior so far, even in the chat, like you're being protective of your partner even during this chat alone, because you're seeing the positive and optimistic sides of your partner, right? So based on your own personality and how you like want to be supportive with your partner and understanding and compassionate to this person, based on your personality alone from the chat and how your reading went, right? I think you have a lot of patience already. Okay, so since you already have a lot of patience, it feels like it takes a very, very, very long time to get your patience to the point of it being tested, right? So I think you're willing to wait it out at least till the end of the school year. And when the school year ends, there's going to be a graduation hype, and then eventually there'll be a calm. And the calm, I think, is an opportunity for you to at least try again, like try communicating again and see how it goes now that there's nothing else that has to be a direct focus towards clinical studies, textbook studies, grades, graduation, the Stone Cap reviews, and exit counseling. So, like, that's a lot of busy stuff. So when all the school's work ends and things calm down, I would say within a couple of weeks time frame, for like things to start calming down, I would take that door of opportunity to try and communicate more again and see what happens. You meant 3 times in the reading alone, depression comes up. So I would keep that in consideration. For the both of you, like if your partner really suffers from it, and does not go to therapy, I highly suggest it. If they're not medicated, I also highly suggest it. And then, I do know those could be touchy waters because some people do not like being told what to do. Your partner might be one of those people, so do it in a way that's more compassionate. And then, in terms of that time frame, depending on how things go, I think that's that moment of time that you've waited for. That's when you should consider both of your sides of a relationship in a very more serious way and what you really want from it and what they really want from it, and just discuss during that time frame. Even things I didn't announce, you said too. Like the baby and the religion. Yeah, it came up subtly. So that's my take on it. I feel like you should allow yourself to wait to that time because it feels like that's very much your personality, but decide after that. Yeah, I was like, oh my gosh, I love that. Congratulations on the newborn whenever they happen, or if they already did. You know, that's so fun news. It's fun to have new family members. You're very welcome. Thank you for letting me know if it resonates. Soon, actually, like super soon. Oh, okay. Yeah, came up in the reading like 3 times, just like the others. So 3 must be significant. I don't, maybe April 3rd, but we'll see. We'll find out. Mhm. Thank you for being my second person for the reading. And let's see, Dan Takiro, are you still in this stream? You were the one on my list for readings. You will be my last one for the night. If you were still in here, let me know. Yes, I'm here. Okay, great. Thank you for waiting. I'm sure it was quite a while. I haven't actually been paying too much attention to the time. So I do like general readings most of the time. I often resonate with past on loved ones in terms of what I'm used to like communicating with. And then anything that I give for a reading is based on interpretation. I give the interpretation, usually specifics are from the reader itself. Oh, you sent a big message. Hold on, I need a moment to read this. I ended a 1-year kind of toxic relationship a while ago, and honestly, I've been feeling a bit anxious about whether I'll be okay. This month I've been calm, but I'm afraid this peace might fade or that this person might want to come back or something like that. More than anything, I'd like to know what's coming for me in the next few months, especially since I also want to start new projects and so on. Okay, all right, no problem. Who's not even get some message servant? Thank you. Dan Takira will be my last one, but anybody else who's in here, if you wanted a reading, feel free to let me know. I do have like my socials and stuff on my profile if you want to communicate in some way. I yeah, I have like a card. You can like do the email or something. You don't need to be sorry. It's totally fine. I just needed a minute to read it. No worries. You're fine. Don't worry about it. Let's see. More than anything, I'd like to know what's coming for me in the next few months, especially since I also want to start new projects and so on. Okay, so you're looking like a two-piece kind of reading. You're basically looking for answers based on your anxiety about this person returning from what I get out of your message. And you also want to see just like generally what's coming your way within the next few months. Is that correct? Also, I've been giving everybody the option that I've done a reading for so far. So basically, yes. Okay. Yeah, no problem. We can do that. Um, I keep asking everybody I've done a reading to so far whether they want to choose the deck that is played or if they would like me to choose it intuitively. I have quite a few decks. If you have a particular vibe you kind of vibe with more, feel free to just mention it and I can see if I have a deck similar to that. Or if there's any specific one that you know that you like that I might have, I can also do that. Otherwise, I can choose based on what my intuition tells me. Sorry. So which would you like? Would you like to choose, or would you like me to judge it based on what I'm feeling? For Dan, you choose the deck. I trust it. Okay. Oh, thank you. That's very sweet. Bye. I know you just saw me pull a lot. Don't worry. I know it looks like many, but like the amount of cards that might intuitively play might not be that amount. Like large amount. Like um Sacrificios had a very, very specific and very deep message. Yours is also specific, but it might play out in a way that might not be as long, is what I'm saying. So let me show you your cards. I actually pulled some decks that intrigued me because I pulled them intuitively. If I did it just based on something I wanted to use, it wouldn't have been these. So I'm intrigued by it. So you have two decks that, or three decks that I've actually played within the stream so far. So I'll show you those first since I've already showed them in the earlier part of the stream. We have Affirmators. I kind of like using this deck as advice messages. So like it'll give you advice you need to hear. But it's like a major message usually. We have Life Purpose cards again by Doreen Virtue. The Moonology Oracle deck by Yasmin Boland. Boland? Which is a deck I just used. I like to use the Moonology deck as a final deck for like final like solid message. So we also have Earth Magic deck by Stephen D. Farmer. I haven't used these that often, so I might read from the book for this too, but I'll do the interpretation first. I have calling cards. And this I felt like it's very specific because this deck is actually not an Oracle card deck. This deck is for like people who need guidance on where they want to take their career path. And what they do is they use like process of elimination. So the fact that I felt drawn to take this means like there's just like things that kind of like I guess need to be like more shown on what your soul is more interested in, maybe, or something along those lines. We'll see what comes up when I play them. But this is one of the decks that intrigued me that I wouldn't have typically grabbed. Just to let you know, it says calling cards, uncover your calling, and then I don't know who made them, but it says The Purpose Company, bkconnection.com. And then the last one is Angel Cards. And these are just like tiny little cards and they have little images. Sometimes I'll interpret the image, but the major part of the card will be like the words. So this one, I feel like I'm going to play this one first. And energetically, it feels like I should use this deck for you for the first part of your message in terms of the toxic person you've been around. I'm being told for the first immediate message before starting your reading, they're telling me to tell you that you are safe and you're being protected. And they're saying you're safe and you're being protected. the anxiety you feel feels very high and very extreme, like you feel very scared. So it felt like important to tell you that first before moving on to the deck. Also, look how tiny it is. It's in such a tiny box. Tiny things are cute. Tiny things are always cute. Okay. Also, just like with the other readings, I typically ask if they let me know if it resonates with them or not. Either way, I like to hear the feedback if you don't mind. Um, all readings and interpretations are for entertainment purposes only. It is not a substitute for professional help. Okay, let's start with these. So, like I said before, just to confirm, you're still in here, yes? And I'm not lagging or anything. I have to check now. It is getting late, so I'm not sure how well the computer's doing. Okay, great. Perfect. Great. Okay. It must have like a delay with me speaking and like the stream projection. It must have a delay on that. No problem. Okay, so they told me to tell you that you were safe. They want you to know that you're safe. And then there's these angel numbers. I don't know why I said angel numbers. So I that must be a message. So I don't know if you know what angel numbers are, but they're like the repeated numbers, like 11, 11, 12, 12, 2, 22. Like those are angel numbers. I think they're telling me based on what I distinctively just said or instinctively just said. I think they're being very specific. They're letting you know when you see those numbers. I'm being told, like, especially during your moments of like an anxiety attack, when you see those numbers, you're being protected in that moment. So I'm going to play these angel cards now with some words for you. I don't know if I'll interpret them or not. It might just be the words, but I'll see what plays first. So there's two that immediately fell out. I'm going to play a few more because I feel like that's not all of it. First one says communication. Try to keep it in the light. It says communication. It has a cute little picture of all these angels on the telephone talking with each other. Um, I think it's being very specific. Communicate with your angels, regardless of whether you're religious, not religious, or of a spiritual background, or like I'm a spiritualist. I'm not religious, but I am a spiritualist. Regardless of what you resonate with, it's saying communicate like with your angels or communicate with what you're used to, because they're listening, and when you need help they'll be there. Next one is trust. It's an image of a little angel feeding a unicorn, which is so cute. um it says trust in the energy that it gave me for trust. It's saying trust that everything's okay. Like you have to believe it's okay. You also need to trust like that things are moving on, like that things are moving forward. You need to trust in that future. You need to trust in yourself. You need to trust that things are okay. Like you mentioned earlier the toxic relationship and the word trust came up. So like you said it was toxic, so I feel like you part of the huge reasons you have like strong anxiety, right? It may not be the major reason. You might have had anxiety before, but like part of the part of it that's like increasing it is because like you now lost a lot of trust, so you're having a hard time rebuilding, right? So you're having a lot of time rebuild a hard time rebuilding the trust you once had because of the course of events you've experienced and gone through. um you know, one thing about trust, right, is that once it's broken, it's very hard to rebuild, but it can be done. And one thing that a lot of people, you know, forget is that, like, you know, they say wounds can heal, right? But, you know, I, this is not meant to like sound negative. That's not my intention. I'll try my best to make sense of it. So, like, they say wounds heal, right? But like, it doesn't mean that it's gone. Like, there's still going to be, I'll call it residue. There's still a little bit left over because your memories remember that. So, like, your body, like, let's say your body fell and you scratched your leg, it really hurt, or like you had like a fracture or something, right? Because you tripped over a root, right? And your leg healed, right? But the scar is still there. The scar was a permanent memory, right? So even though you would heal, like you're allowing yourself to heal, move on, right? Like you have to actively engage in allowing yourself to do that, and he'll move on. And but the scar, right, is still there, but you have moved on from it. You've grown from it. It no longer bothers you. Like that particular feeling situation is what you need to do with this current situation so far. So I'm gonna play a few more for you. Hold on. I really needed to hear that. I might have read your message a little late. Not sure which part you're referring to. Sorry. I'm assuming related to communication and trust, maybe, because those are the cards that played so far. Mm, I'm not sure if that was meant to play. If it was, it'll fall down again. Oh, oh, oh. Presence. Okay, this is very significant for a message in my mind's eye, because um I feel like you might be someone who's always had a little bit of anxiety throughout life. I feel like this is like not something like new. It's just the situation made it 10 times worse, is what it feels like. It feels like you've always had it a little bit, or maybe it, like family members have had it, possibly. But the card that I just played says presence, right? And presence is like in the moment, like be present, right? And one thing with anxiety is your constant, one thing that's noticed between some mental disorders, right? They say depression always thinks about the past and anxiety always thinks about the future. And when you're always thinking about the future, you're not thinking about right now. So like in this moment right now. And I feel like that might be something that's a little hard for you. So you need to do that thing they recommend people to do, or what is it? I think it's called the five senses, like hearing, touch, taste, smell, touch, taste, smell, sight. I think you need to like do those to help you bring you back in the present moment. So I feel like you struggle with like probably some panic attacks. It feels like that's like something you have a hard time with. So you need that thing that brings you back to the now and in the present moment. And I might play one or two more. Let me know if I sound too quiet. I might be mumbling a little bit. I'll try my best to be clear when I'm speaking. Mm. Ah, getting all disorganized. Okay, let's try. They're hard to shuffle. Okay, great. Thank you for letting me know. All right, so let's get the last messages. Is it one of both? I guess it's both. It won't let me shuffle it. All right, let me put this back before I make a huge mess. Because they're so tiny, but they are messy. If then take forever to clean up if I don't hold it in place. Okay. Oh, there's three. I thought it was two, but there's three. Authenticity is the next one. And I see the image of the heart. It's saying like you're loved. You know, they want you to acknowledge and know that you're loved. Honesty is the next one. It shows the angel looking, I think, looking at himself in the mirror. It says honesty. I think it might help you if you're someone who often like lives alone, which I think also increases your anxiety. I feel like you might be someone who lives alone, like in your own apartment complex or something. If you're someone who lives alone, that's actually increasing your anxiety. I suggest maybe getting a pet or reconsidering where you live. I know depending on where you live, like this current market, it's very difficult to find homes. But I would consider it. A pet, possibly reconsidering where you live if your living scenario increases your anxiety. Or I'm being told, I don't know if you're someone who's like into feng shui type stuff, but like if you have furniture that triggers specific memories, get rid of that furniture and replace it with new pieces because it's going to help bring you back to the present moment. And then we have balance. Okay. You know, it's funny that's a good final message right there for those cards, for those cards. So balance is the last one that shows up. And that to me, like that's like a confirmation. I don't live alone, but lately I've been spending a lot of time home alone. Oh, okay. Okay, so yeah, I picked up on those alone vibes. The alone vibes actually increase your anxiety from what I'm getting out of you so far. Even if you don't recognize it as that yet, when you're spending more time alone in a way where you like feel lonely, and then your thought process is going towards a negative context. You know, you can be alone without feeling lonely, but like those feelings are like triggering memories, and then they're triggering your anxiety, and then it's like it just keeps going up in each level. And in terms of the specific scenario, I don't feel, if I'm being very direct about it, I don't feel like this person is going to like come back in the way you're afraid of. So like it feels like, I feel like that person you are particularly, well, I'm sorry. I feel like that person you are particularly worried about is like making their way to move on. Like they're already on that, getting on that side and direction. However, if you're someone who's like, even, you know, a lot of people who've gone through toxic relationships, they still care about the person they were with, even if they know they're better off without them, they still have feelings of caring about that person. And if you're that type of person, it is highly unrecommended to reach out because that will it'll like conflict with what you're trying to do. So you both are like in a current energy of going separate ways. So that is the energy you currently want. So stick with that for now and focus on you in this moment. Like focus on here and now. Don't focus on future or past. Focus on the here and now for you. Which is why I like that your last angel card that played was balance. You need to like rebalance your life. And I feel like you need to rebalance it in a way that's more for you. So like you, which is kind of a similar vibe to the reading that was before you a little bit. It's not exactly the same, but a similar message. Like you need to focus on you because you're too focused on the other person. So like spend this time to like, I don't want to say the word fix, but like spend this time to think about now what you want now, how things will work out for you and what you want. how you want things to get set up, where you feel comfortable, like all these tiny little things. Yeah, I feel like that's a good start so far. I'm going to play Earth Magic next. This is the deck that I haven't played much, so I might read from the book, but I'll try to interpret first. Makes sense. I neglected myself a lot in my old relationship. Yeah, so this is like you time. This is meant for you now. And you can do whatever you want for yourself. You know, nothing's holding you back now. So, all right, Earth Magic. Let's see what comes up for you. I should probably put. Actually, no. I want to look them up. I want to look them up. All right, Earth Magic. So what messages for you from this deck? Ooh. So we have Winter Solstice first. It says reflection on it. And also this card, this honesty card, also says reflection. So that intrigues me off the bat, that because that's 2 for 2. That's like a confirmation. And it says reflection on it, and I see the mirror. Mirror is often reflection, right? Winter solstice is like the time of reflection as well, which is why that's on the card. I think, you know, I think you should prioritize being in this moment. But when you feel calm and ready for it, right? When you feel calm and ready for it, you should reflect back on things that you learned from. It can be either positive or negative, but whatever experience you've had, regardless of what it may have been, right? There's something you could have learned from. So something you could have learned from for yourself, something you learned from as like a value, right? Or a moral, things that weren't okay, things that are okay. Like there's things you've learned from. So reflect, don't be afraid. Like you have anxiety towards future events, right? And I think you should focus on the present moment. But when you feel ready, reflect back on your previous relationship in a way where you're learning new things about yourself and what you've decided that you deserve for yourself. Because you also said you neglected yourself a lot in the older relationship, right? So you now know what you deserve and what you want, right? So make that like what you stick to. These are your solid boundaries and you're not willing to give it up. So like reflect on what those are when you feel the time is right. You don't have to rush yourself. I feel it's important to say this. You don't have to rush your healing process. Okay. Healing takes time. It's like grieving. You're grieving the loss. You're grieving the loss of not only the relationship, right? Because I'm sure that's part of you that cared, of course. But you're also grieving the loss of your own time of your life, right? It's because you might have some regrets in that moment, right? Don't force your healing process to be faster. It's meant to take time for a reason. So spend time with yourself, spend time living in the present moment. They're telling me you need to learn to have some fun. Spirit says you need to learn to have some fun. So you should learn to like, if, right now, I get like resistant energy from you. It feels like you don't like to go out in, I'll call it the world. You don't like to go out in like public scenarios. I don't know if that's based on the anxiety or if that's like just kind of like an inner personality kind of person you are or not. But like they're saying you should go out and have some fun. Like find something you know you like to do and have some fun. Even if it's like a relaxing situation or if you just want to go crazy and have a party, like they want you to have fun in your own way. Because that's gonna let you let loose a little bit and you're gonna feel a little more comfortable, at least at this time. Let's see what else comes up from you for this Earth Magic card. Okay, this one. Wind activation. I feel like this is a famous painting of some sort. I don't know what it is, but there's a character, there's a face blowing wind, and it says activation. The orange colors in it make me think of fire. Fire, wind and air fuels fire and makes it grow. It feeds it. It feeds the fire. And I see the contrast between the blue of the character blowing the wind and the like warm oranges. There's like there's a fine line between it, and like the blue feels like that's like where you are. I mentioned like being alone, and like it feels dim. It feels dim. Like your light is being dimmed, and you need to like light it up back, light it back up again. So it feels like you had like a, let me see if I can be more specific. So it's energetically so far based on what I pick up, right? It feels like you had like this kind of maybe a fun life or a type of life that felt more like you before the relationship, or something about your past that you liked that you were when you were there. And then that drastically changed and you became more submissive. Right. So it's saying that it wants you to spark that fire again, light it back up, because that's going to help you get loose and let loose again. You'll feel more relaxed and more comfortable with yourself. Uh, yeah, I think that's a major part of that message so far. If anything else comes up, I'll let you know. I'm going to play a couple more cards. Well, I can tell I haven't used these cards that much because um, they're like stiff. They're stiff to shuffle. Oop, there's one. Forest that says breathe. Just breathe. And breathing is also very calming. And so is the forest. I see the flowers and the flower petals. And I'm thinking of the Miley Cyrus song Flowers. I don't know if we vibe with that particular song. It's unusual for me to mention songs from artists because I'm usually very bad at names for artists and actors. So, but I see the flowers. I thought of the Miley Cyrus song Flowers. It might be one that like resonates with you maybe. And it also makes me feel like as a suggestion to boost your mood, buy yourself some flowers. Buy whatever colors you're resonating with at that time and just buy it for you because it makes you feel good. Yes, that's really accurate. I used to go out with my friends and do a lot of stuff, but when I started the relationship, I stopped doing it and isolated myself. Yes. Yeah, so like that song that brought up it feels like that's like your moment. Like that's your current vibe going on with this, which is like I said, it's really weird for me to bring up songs. So because I'm very picky with my playlist, so you know, I feel like that's a very specific meaning to you. And then yes, it's weird. Yes, okay. So yeah, you were very like you're a very lighthearted, fun person, you know. Like to go out with my friends and do a lot of stuff. Yeah, that's not in your nature. So spark that fire back up, even if it's actually they're saying whether it's slow or fast, just do it. It wants the spirit just wants you to do it. Whether you want to start it back up slowly until you feel comfortable, or if you want to kind of just jump right in, they say go for it. Okay, I think I'm gonna play one more from this deck, and then we'll move on to the next parts for you. I feel like you're, you know, I don't want to say clubbing vibes, but they keep showing me this image of a person who likes to like go to the club or like go dancing, like someone who likes to party and have fun. Like they're free spirited. That's the word. Very free spirited. That's what it feels like for your energy. They want you to go back into that free spirited part of yourself. And then we have desert, and it says vision quest. So this is a nice message, I think. I might read from the book for this message for you. But based on, a vision quest is someone who goes out and explores themselves again. So it's like confirmation for you to find yourself once more. This is what this feels like. So let's see. Top of the deck says fire, and it says passion. And I mentioned lighting the fire a couple times. Oh, I love this. I love this for you. This is so great. This is such great. Okay, so I said desert, which is vision quest, right? And then bottom was it was top of the deck. Top of the deck said fire and passion. That was like confirmation from things I was just saying. And bottom of the deck is lotus flower unfoldment. So lotus flowers first mean transformation. That's like that's a major part of the lotus flower, but the lotus flower is also something beautiful that grows in something very ugly. So like they grow in muddy ponds and something beautiful blooms from it. And so like this feels like this is you, like this is you transforming and growing and reblooming basically. I didn't go to any clubs, but I did like going out with friends and stuff like that. Not necessarily to party. That's a pretty card. Yes, it is a pretty card. I agree. It's so nice. Oh, and I'm being drawn. I didn't notice this right away, but I noticed it now. There's actually a hand. I don't know if you can see it. There's a hand right here in the clouds. It's very subtle. It looks like the clouds. The hand is holding up the sun. So it's like I'm supporting you. I'm being this. You're being supported is what the message is. Yeah, and it says unfoldment. So like a major part of your reading is to be now in the present moment and let things unfold as they come. I think as a major part of this message here. I am going to read the vision quest part of the card in the book though. This one I feel like I should read from the book forward, wherever I put it. Desert. Oh, and I opened to the page that says love. Um, I'm hearing a specific phrase, learn to love yourself again. Learn to love yourself again. Okay, this must be in alphabetical order. Okay, desert. Vision quest. In this arid climate zone that we call desert, images shift and change throughout the day, yet always maintain a sharp and defined presence. That's another confirmation of the word presence. Those hardy species of flora and fauna that have found a home in the desert have adapted over eons to the relative harshness that's a strong characteristic of these lands. Throughout history, we've passed down many stories of people wandering the desert. Often they're about religious figures and ascended masters who had journeyed there and returned to their people with remarkable visions. The desert is an ideal place to seek a vision, or more accurately, to allow a vision to come to you. The quiet and peace of such an environment is conducive to the solitude required to have this type of profound experience. Spending time in this region without the usual accoutrements of the civilized world can present survival challenges, or at least seem to. And this could rightfully be called a spirit quest, where through steadiness in this seemingly bleak environment, it becomes possible to receive direct guidance from spirit internally and in the world around you. There's more to this message, but I'm being told that you should focus more on the positive parts of your life. Stay focused on the positive parts of your life because more positive things come when you do that. A vision quest is a process whereby you spend a few days in the wilderness alone. Typically, you carry only water and some sacred items with you, and you spend most of the time praying or meditating. Many who have completed a vision quest assert that it is a powerful and even life-changing experience and report vivid, profound revelations. It is said that the desert does not lie. So partaking in this can help you discover the truth about your purpose or at least give you some clues. It is time for you to go on a vision quest. Designate a place in nature in which to dwell, whether for a couple of hours or a few days. Spend the majority of your time while there praying and meditating. It is best to be in a location where you can truly find solitude, like you feel feel very peaceful, very safe and calm. Even if it is in a quiet corner of the park for an afternoon. Wherever you go, take your question, concern, or challenge with you into prayer or meditation. Allow it to float around in your consciousness and watch what shows up. This is one of the more powerful cards. By drawing it, whatever other message you may have received are amplified threefold. Interesting. That must have been why I felt the need to read it. They're giving me, based on that card that I just read from the book from you, they're giving me visions of a rest and rejuvenate, like a retreat. That's the word I'm looking for, like a spiritual retreat or just a retreat in general of some sort. It might be very beneficial with you. And you mentioned talking about going out with friends and stuff. I don't know if you still stay connected because you said you isolated yourself, but maybe attempt to reach out and see how it goes and see if you're all willing to do a retreat together. I think that is a good suggestion. And that is like it's like a suggestion to try and just see how it goes. Worst case scenario, they could say no, but that legitimately is the worst case scenario. And you don't have to worry about it if they do say no. You can also go yourself if you wanted to. So that was the Earth Magic. Oh, that was silly. I put it away without putting the cards I just played away. I have limited room, so give me just a moment. Let me put these back so I can get to the next part of that. All right, let's see. What's the next one I'll play for you? Okay. They want me to play Uncover the Common cards for you now. So I'm going to do that. And I think after I'll do that, I'll play the Life Purpose card. And then Affirmators and then Morphology. I think that'll be the order I go in. So let me put the Angel cards away real quick. Also, I've been talking a lot, so I'm also going to grab a quick drink real quick and make it in a second. Okay. All right, let's get to the next part. So I feel like those were like the major parts of the first half of your message. I think that was the message for the first section you mentioned in the chat when you started, when we started your reading. So this next section is going to the second half of your message, finally. So we have calling cards and cover your calling. So let's see what comes up for these. I'm intrigued to see what happens for this because I don't typically use these for Oracle, but I keep them with my cards in case anything comes up for people who don't really know what direction they should take. And I feel like you're probably in that scenario a little bit. And typically, the way they work, you use process of elimination when you have the actual deck yourself. If that intrigues you, I'll try to calling cards and cover your calling. Made in the USA, bkconnections.com, if it becomes of interest to you. All right, so let's see what comes out of this deck. messages. Oh, there's one. Let's try to get a few before I start rolling them over. These are simple word cards. I'll probably read them directly. If something comes up, I'll interpret it, but otherwise I might just read them directly. They don't come with a book, it's just the words. Any other cards from this deck that should be played at this time? Any other cards from this deck that should be played at this time? Alright, that took forever, so I think that's the final card. So I'm gonna put this back first. Let's see what came up. Let's see what came up. This is for the second half of your reading. We have bringing out potential. That's a good start. Bringing out potential, enterprising. So it looks like good things are coming your way. It doesn't feel like it's in your immediate future. It feels like it's within like a 6-month-ish time frame, maybe a little longer than that. I don't know if you have plans of doing something in a specific direction, but it, based on the first card that's played, it's something that will take some patience and time to build over time. Any future predictions, if I do any future predictions, are open to interpretation, but I make sure to tell everyone that future is always changing based on your actions today. So if you don't do something, your future will change, and if you do something, your future will change. But so, like, for example, let's say I made a prediction, right? If you stick to the current course you're on, that prediction will end up coming true, right? But like, let's say it's not it's not an outcome you wanted, right? If you change your future, like, what you do currently changes what you want, what you don't want to happen in the future, then your future will change too, is what I mean. So like, there's a direction, and depending on what you do today takes you down either path. So that's how usually future predictions work when it comes to like psychic readings. That's why they're always open to interpretation and to like take it or leave it, but always stay open-minded to it. Understanding how the future constantly changes, I think, makes it easier. But yeah, anyway, so this feels like it's more on a like 6-month time frame. I just felt the need to mention that first because it's important to bring up. It says bringing out potential, and it feels like it's something. I feel like you're growing, and as you're growing, this is growing. That's the energy it feels like. Let me make on the next card. Next card says building relationships and social. So that's interesting. And my mind, I'm hearing, oh no, like immediately, energetically. And you don't have to worry if you're not ready for another relationship. That's totally okay. This doesn't have to be romantic relationships. It can be any relationship, family, friends. It could be rebuilding your friendships if you've lost them from the isolation. So bringing out potential, building relationships. It says socializing. This definitely feels like you're socializing more, or you will be. Like, I feel like when you start growing more, you're going to become more comfortable with yourself again, and you're also going to start socializing more again, just like you used to. Starting things. I just said when you start. So that to me feels like a confirmation card. It says starting things and enterprising, right? And what's this one? This says translate things and investigative. So that's interesting to me. This feels like it might be a potential career path. Yes, I need to socialize a little more. So translating things is interesting. Oh, it's sending me a very specific message. It makes me think of like that person who does like what do they call it? Medical scribing. It's someone who like makes sense of it's like the doctor's papers and then they transcribe those papers. That's what it makes me think of. You're translating these things to make more sense. So that's what this makes me think of. I don't know if that resonates with you or if it doesn't. That might be something that comes up later, since this is more on the future side of your stuff. But keep in consideration or in mind if there's something that you were thinking of when you did it or when it came up. So I'm going to play from this now. Life purpose cards. It has a mix of both life purpose things and like just message cards. So we'll see what comes up for you. Messages from the step. Oh, first card that came up is music. Your connection to music is healing for yourself and others. And I mentioned that song from Miley Cyrus called Flowers. So you vibe with music very well. I didn't get that last card. Oh, that's okay. If it doesn't resonate, it doesn't have to right now. Just keep it in mind if something comes up later on. That's totally fine. It's just translating things though. So something with translation makes sense, or maybe it's related to this next thing with music. Maybe you're making sense of the music in correlation with you. It can be anything like that. But like medical transcription or something like that is what came up to my mind. So like documents you receive, you like make sense of it. Like you from that card that I interpreted, it feels like there's like something that like you receive and then you make it make more sense. I don't know if that's specifically to the card or if like the context itself is important, but that's okay. Just keep it in mind. Something might happen later on. Like I said, this is more on your future side, or it can be something as much as like the music thing. I don't see myself doing something like that. That's okay. No worries. It can be anything. Like even like listening to music and creating a picture or a poem or like something like that. Or making music videos, stuff like that. To me anything. Music, your connection to music is healing for yourself and others. That's the first one. Let's play a couple more. We have practice. Polish your skills by practicing regularly. So you must, if this doesn't vibe with you so far, it must be within your future because you asked within the next couple of months, right? So it must be something new happening within the next couple of months. We have healer. You have a spiritual gift of healing and a desire to share with others. And I mentioned medical transcriptions. So maybe some doctor, pharmacy, nurse, if you're more of a nurse, might come in your life in the near future. Maybe. You might make friends with this person. That might be how it correlates together. I'm not sure. Yeah, you're more of an artist. Yeah, I was picking up like vibes from that. I didn't say it though. I don't know why I didn't say it. Maybe it wants you to consider your options. Like you have options you can choose from. Let's play. I feel like I should play a couple more from this deck, so I'm going to. Hello. Creative expression. Your soul longs to express itself creatively, and it has little artists. Your soul longs to express itself creatively. So, actually, I'm starting to pick up on new messages. So I mentioned medical transcription, right? But I mentioned specifically like receiving something and making sense of it. right? For that part of it. And you got music. Your connection to music is healing for yourself and others. You got practice, polish your skills by practicing regularly. Healer, you have a spiritual gift of healing and desire to share it with others, but this feels more specific to the word healing. And creative expression, your soul longs to express itself creatively. So I feel like you're in the zone, like your safe space kind of thing is more like put your headphones in or play the music on speakerphone, play the music on the speaker, or like listen to music while you do your artistic pieces, because that's more inspiration for you, and it's also like when you feel very calm, and that's healing for you. So I think like a lot of those major part of this is healing. And if I remember right, I think it was you. If I remember right in the beginning, I said you don't have to rush your healing process, which I think you sort of want to do, but your process is meant to take the time it needs to heal properly. So you don't have to rush your healing process. Makes sense. That makes more sense to you. Yeah, that it feels like it's going towards that vibe now. Like I said, it's okay if it doesn't resonate right away. It might come up later, so no worries. I feel like I want to play like two more from this deck for you, so let's see what else comes up. Let's see what else comes up. Oh, we have body work. Your life purpose involves body work, such as massage therapy, energy healing, physical therapy, or exercise training. I felt drawn to energy healing. I'm a Reiki master. I don't know if you've heard of Reiki, but you might enjoy that. And I feel like that could be a suggestion for you to try if you've never done it before. It's non-invasive. Some people might think it's weird, but if you're open-minded to it and receive it, it'll be good for you. All right, one more card from this deck for you. And we'll move on to the next one. Justice. Your career brings fairness, and protection to others who need your help. This, I feel like it's back to like the beginning of your message. Justice, to me, it feels like a confirmation card that you're safe and protected. That's how I feel from that. Top of the card says animals. I mentioned maybe getting an animal earlier. I don't know if that's something you plan on or you can't have, but even like maybe an image of an animal or animals might like boost your vibration. So let me play put these back. Music definitely came up from that, so I think music has very large significance in your reading so far. This back. Okay, so we've got affirmators and Moonology deck. Those are the last two for your reading. These are going to be used more as like advice and messages for you to hear, like final messages of the reading. So we're going to go to that next. It's interesting because you asked for like within a couple months time in terms of your reading, and it didn't have a lot of specifics. I think within the next couple of months you should prioritize healing, and focusing on you and focusing on like the now. Like you should prioritize now more than later. That's what I get out of that so far, out of your reading so far. um You shouldn't go into too many things, which will make it feel like it's too much at once. You'll feel burnt out that way. So instead of doing it that way, um, focus on you and your healing first, slowly and slowly, or just jump right into like the person you want to be again. Like if you know what you want to be, go back to that. Um, but don't overwhelm yourself with too many things at this time so far. Let's get some affirmation cards going for you. Affirmators. Sorry, not affirmations. Ah, let's do this one. Ah. Perseverance. It seems you're on a massive journey right now, and this card has arrived to remind you that you will reach the other side. The mountain you're climbing is huge and formidable, but so is your ability to climb it. You don't need to enjoy it, you just need to tackle it. Complain if it makes the job easier. Blow off steam. You think mountain climbers get to the top of Everest on an inspirational quote? No way. They're grunting and crying and cursing like freaking pirates. That doesn't sell, that just doesn't sell a lot of posters. Perseverance. I'll play a couple more. Friendliness. Whenever I smile, I make someone's day better. What a cool way to buy happiness for free. Today, I will remember what an awesome power I hold, and I'll take joy in improving lives simply by giving away grins like crazy. Note, in a pinch, money will also work. Cute little crocodile with suit on. Friendliness, so you have perseverance, friendliness, and I feel like that's like reiterating the friends you've mentioned. I think friends might be a priority for you in terms of what makes you feel so fully connected. So maybe reaching back out to those friends you felt close to before, even taking the first step of saying hello. You know, I know we haven't chatted in a while. Um, and then also potentially making new friends. But the word friend seems to be significant. Playfulness. I'm a playful participant in life, and I always have the option to make something a fun game rather than a heavy burden. Mary Poppins puts sugar in the medicine for a reason. The lady really knows how to party. And she's like on a well, Mary Poppins didn't need a bike to travel on. But in this image, she's on a little bike, going on a journey, going on new journeys. This one says options. As I open to the abundant possibilities of my life's path, I'm reminded that I always have unlimited options. Life is a buffet, and I allow myself to choose whatever makes me happiest without limiting thoughts like, you can't put mac and cheese on your baked potato. Who says? Who says I can't do that? Why can't I do that? And love. Love is a many splendored thing. Today I will notice and appreciate at least three of those splendors, like the fact that puppies make me feel like a parent, or the surge of self-congratulation I feel when I sink a three-point trash bucket shot on the first try. Or how about the chills I get when I sing along to the song, name of the song, you know the one, is what the bottom says. Mhm. Bottom of the deck says manifestation. If you could have anything you wanted, what would it be? Get specific, get greedy, you're holding the magic wand and you can conjure up anything. Could it be that when you declare your wishes out loud, you're actually casting a spell for your dreams to come true? Or is it just that, in a very practical sense, the more people you speak with about your desires, the more folks there are who know what you want and might have the means to help you make them happen? Either way, stop waiting and start manifesting. But don't use that word if you don't want to. And I'm going to read your Moonology Oracle card deck as well. Let's just run my deck across the. All right, this is the next step here. What are the messages to be acknowledged? Which card? Which card was it after? This card. One out. Put this one to exit and the messages from this deck to be acknowledged to swing this. And the other. This. And this. Yes, okay, and that feels like it's the last one. Energy is building momentum. It's time to take action. There it is. So be bold and make the first move is the first card. Cardinal Moon. Don't let pride get in your way from Moon and Leo. I'm hearing the word stubborn all of a sudden. Something you're being very stubborn about. The end of a tough cycle approaches. This is reiteration of you're safe and protected. Like this, the cycle is ending. It's not repeating anymore. You can go back to the way you wanted things to be. Like you can go to where you want to go now. Conclusions are within reach. Conclusions are within reach. A win-win outcome is forecast. And prosperity lies ahead. Oh, what lovely messages to end on. So like this is like confirming that good things are coming. You know, it doesn't have to necessarily be like something specific is coming your way. It could also mean like, you know, good things are coming in a way that makes you feel more relaxed and peaceful, like just feeling good, you know, in that scenario. So if I reread them again, be bold and make the first move. Don't let pride get in your way. The end of a tough cycle approaches. Conclusions are within reach. A win-win outcome is forecast and prosperity lies ahead. Like those, I feel like it's a very strong message alone. And it's like confirming, it's confirmation cards basically. And they're all positive. So many good things. Yeah. Yeah. So it's like it energetically, like intuitively, it feels more based on energy. So like it feels like it's more related to like use this time to heal, pay more attention in the present moment. You know what you want, so aim towards the things you want, right? And you know, they're saying not to worry about specific things right now. Like don't worry about like if career is something you really want to do, like right now is not the time for you to think about that. Right now it's the time to focus on you. Like you need to find yourself again. So this within this course of the next couple of months is your time to like find yourself again, refine who you are, redefine who you are. You know, this is this moment. And these are all positive outcomes. Like these are, you know, you're growing from this, you're building up from this, and you know you're coming out as a better and new you, basically. You know, there was nothing wrong with the old you, but you also know you don't want to be the like specifically in that time frame, you don't want to be that old you anymore, right? So there's a better new version of you that you're ready for, so lead to that first. That's what your reading is within this next few months for now. So yes, and the win-win outcome is forecast, has the Libra symbol in it, which is the balancing scales. And in the beginning of your reading with angel cards, you also had as a final message, the very last angel card said balance on it. So like this is like you rebalancing who you are in your life. You're rebalancing. And then the final card has the zodiac Taurus, and Taurus is a very structured and stable zodiac sign. Oh, you're a Libra? Yeah, so balance, balance and Libra, definitely. And then the Taurus is a very structured and stable Taurus sign. They're also very stubborn, but like it says prosperity lies ahead. Like you said you're a Libra. I don't know if you have Taurus in your sign, but like it's saying like be a little bit like the Taurus, like be grounded and stand your ground. Like that's the energy and vibe it's coming off of. But it says prosperity lies ahead. So like I mentioned reflection to you, reflecting of who you were in the past, what you are and are not okay with, right? Um, and you know what you deserve, right? I think that was you. I'm sorry if I'm mixing you with a different reading. Um, but like reflecting back on who you were and who you know you do want to be and you don't want to be, right? Um, when you get to the point past your healing process, right? When you're healing, you'll still have the scars, like I mentioned in your reading, like the fractured bone, like it's healed, but it'll still have the scar, right? So like you'll still have the scars, but you'll be healed at that point in time. And when you're healed, like it's saying to stand your ground, like don't give way to anybody for any reason anymore. Basically, is the message. So when you get there, like that new you when you're ready won't won't deal with anything else that you don't deserve anymore. That's the energy for the last and final card of your reading that it comes from. So I do you feel like you received what you wanted or needed from your reading? Did it resonate with you? And do you have any final questions before I end the reading? I definitely think the stream has like a delay between. Yes, very accurate actually, and also made me feel a little bit more optimistic about the future. Oh, thank you. I'm so glad. I'm so glad. I think, this it sounds so superficial, but I mean it genuinely. I think you're fine. I think you're fine. And I I think you're growing. I also think you need to prioritize your own personal healing. Like you got to prioritize yourself and you have to stay in the present moment. You also already know what you want. So aim towards going back to what you actually want instead of what you don't want. Like focus on the positive sides of it. Thank you for giving me the feedback I've been looking for. I appreciate it. You're so welcome. I'm gonna have your reading as the end of my stream today because it's getting so late. I'm tired and I work early tomorrow. So I appreciate you being my third reading today, and I plan to post this on YouTube. Are you okay with that? Or would you like me to cut your section out? Yes, I'm okay, darling. Okay, great. Thank you. All right. So I don't know if there's others who are in here still lurking. I know there were some people who stopped in for first time chatters who said hello. I am sorry I missed you for some readings. I do in-depth readings most of the time. However, I live in the United States in the northern hemisphere and it's late and I do work early tomorrow, so I'm going to end my reading. I also need to recuperate because I am partially introverted and I need to recuperate my energy. So if anyone who is interested in receiving a reading, and if I do another stream with readings at another time, I can put you first on my list. Feel free to contact the socials I have on my profile. Anyway, thank you so much, and I hope everyone got to enjoy the stream, and those who had the readings, I hope you enjoyed your readings. Thank you for letting me know what resonates and what didn't. I appreciate it. I enjoyed all your feedback, and thank you again. Have a good night. Thank you so much. Thank you. I don't know where you live, but you too. That's it.